expect the offense to get back on track. And one thing I expect, if they get on base, I think they can run. Utilize the stolen base. The Braves are 12 for 13 in throwing out runners. So utilize that, use the speed, get guys in scoring position.
Second-year manager Clayton McCullough leads his Miami Marlins into Atlanta here tonight. Jacob Marcy ready to go. So too are we. 7:15 on the dot. We are underway. First pitch fastball swung on, lifted in the air high out to right. The MVP is right there. Acuna's got it. One pitch and one out for Grant Holmes.
Well, that's what I expect from the Marlins offense. Be a little aggressive. Let's scout Grant Holmes. He's a two-pitch pitcher. He does mix in a curveball and a changeup and a cutter, but basically a fastball 94 to 96 and a slider. He's got a nasty slider. 183 average against last year, well 158 this year so far. And versus lefties, 3 for 26, 0 for 7 on that nasty slider.
It is pretty amazing that he can get away with two pitches all night long. Here is Xavier Edwards, who's batting .370 lifetime here at Truist Park. Edwards among qualifiers, pacing the way for the Marlins early on this season, batting .350. He was 2 for 12 in Detroit with a triple.
Well, that's what Holmes does. He pitches to all 4 quadrants with that fastball. He'll stay away a little bit on lefties. He'll climb the ladder with the 4-seamer. You saw that first pitch down in the zone.
1-1 on the way to X. Yeah, fastball missed a little bit low, according to our home plate umpire tonight and the crew chief. That would be Dan Iasonia. Jeremy Rehack is at third. Adam Beck is at second. James Jean is at first. Edwards waits on a 2-1 out of the gates, and he cues that softly towards third. That'll be picked up in foul territory by Austin Riley.
Right there is a perfect example of how nasty that slider is. Let's go around the Atlanta Braves defense. Yastrzemski, Harris, Acuna, Riley, Dubon, Albies, Olsen, and Baldwin behind the plate. Catching Holmes. Congratulations to Michael Harris II. His wife just gave birth over the weekend
to their first baby boy, and they put so much thought into the name. That is Michael Harris II. The baby is Michael Harris III. Didn't take too much time off, did he? He did not use the fully allotted amount of paternity time that you're allowed to take. Michael said, I want to get back with my ball club that's 10-6 to start the season. And sitting atop the standings in the National League East, the Braves have a 2-game lead over the second place Miami Marlins. 2-2 to Edwards. Swing and a miss. Good elevated slider. 2 up and 2 down for Holmes. StatCast 3D, it is powered by Google Cloud. Here's a look at the 14 strikeouts for Grant Holmes this year.
Well, he did mix a curveball in. He got 1 on the curveball, but there you see the slider, which he just struck out Edwards on, in the 4-seam fastball. His last 2 outings, he had 10 strikeouts in those 12 2/3.
Are you suggesting that he might keep you honest with the curveball?
Well, if you're having success with a fastball slider, why change?
Yeah.
Last year, 123 Ks in 115 innings. He did walk 54, but he had a good ERA in 21 starts. Under 4, 3.99.
Augustine swings and misses at a slider. He's got a hit in 5 of 7.
Now with right-handers, he will come inside because he needs to open up the outside and expand the zone with that slider. So he will throw that 4-seamer in on the righty.
0-2's in the dirt. Skipped away from last season's National League Rookie of the Year, Drake Baldwin, behind the plate. What a young, up-and-coming face of the franchise type of catcher Drake Baldwin is. Remember, he and Augustine Ramirez last summer were battling things out for the National League Rookie of the Year. Baldwin won it. That's grounded towards third, picked by Riley. A scoreless perfect top of the first inning for Grant Holmes. And Matt Olson here in the bottom of the first. This Atlanta Braves offense amongst Major League Baseball, 3rd in average, 2nd in homers. The boys of summer here in Atlanta. Some of that thump that we came to know in recent seasons, it is back and better than ever. So too is Yuri Perez here tonight, 4th start of the season. This is his final start as a 22-year-old. He'll turn 23 on Wednesday.
How about that? The ERA is a little high. The 9 walks, 8 walks in his last 2 outings, and we were talking a little bit about it on the open. There's a good fastball there at 98. Is you want to go out every inning and you want to see 15 pitches or less. You don't want to see the 19, the 22, a lot of foul balls, and next thing you know, you have 95 pitches through 5 and you're out of the game. He has the ability to go 6 or 7.
Swing and a miss. Good fastball. 1-2 on Acuna.
Real good fastball at 99, and right there you're just saying, okay, he doesn't see my fastball right now. Why don't I stay with that pitch? Maybe go up a little bit higher in a way.
Here's a 1-2 to Acuna, batting .242 out of the leadoff spot. Swing and a miss. 19 strikeouts now for Uri in 16 the third innings of work.
Or go with the sweeper and finish him off that way. But early outs. Good spin on that down and away. Acuna just did not get a good look at it. He could have gone either way, but he went back with that sweeper. Early outs. Finish them early. Don't get into deep counts.
Quickly, 1 up and 1 down for Uri. A 4-pitch strikeout of Ronald Acuna Jr. And here is the aforementioned 2025 National League Rookie of the Year, Drake Baldwin, a multi-sport star athlete from Wisconsin, who back in the day when he was playing baseball was just a fun hobby. In high school, he led the state of Minnesota in goals in hockey. As he slams this to center, Marcy's going back on the track. He reels it in. He makes the catch. 2 up and 2 down on 6 pitches. Nice catch by Marcy here in the bottom of the first.
Yeah, well, how about we look at that great Marlins defense? Hernandez over in left. You see Marcy with a good running catch at left center. Casey in right. Paulie, the hometown boy, at third. Lopez, Edwards, Norby, and Hicks gets the start behind the plate.
So it was Marcy's homecoming in Detroit. It's Graham Pauley's here in Atlanta. There's X.
Well, this is old hat for Paulie. I mean, he's already done this last year.
Yeah, man, I told you he hit that homer off of Carlos Carrasco back home. There's Graham. He's always smiling. What a delight he is to be around, making his 9th start of the season at third base tonight for Miami. Here is Matt Olson, Atlanta's Iron Man. He tonight is playing in his 799th consecutive game, which gives him sole possession of the 11th longest streak of consecutive games played in Major League history. This run dates back to May 2nd of 2021. And we were talking about him over the weekend in Detroit.
Yeah, and I don't think he's going to catch Cal Ripken. Cal Ripken had 2,632 consecutive games.
There you go. Boy, that is a gaudy number in today's day and age, isn't it?
And I remember, I mean, I played against him for a number of years, and I remember there were some times that he almost thought that he wasn't going to continue that streak.
Played through a lot of injuries.
I was in Seattle in '93, and we got in a brawl with the Orioles in Camden Yards. And he was trying to pull guys off, and he injured his knee.
Really?
And it was so bad that he didn't think that he was going to be able to play the next day.
I can blame it on you.
He could have. Blame it on the brawl.
2-2 on Olson, who's off to a nice start this season. Uri comes home, and a fastball just missed outside.
I've been watching Olson this year, and the one thing that he has done, when he gets 2 strikes, he shortens up his swing a little, and he has gone the other way. Teams play him to pull. The Marlins play him to pull. You'll see Paulie playing at shortstop. And he's not afraid to go the other way with a little looper right down that line. He's got plenty of hits down that left field line.
He is 2 for 6 against Uri. And Matt Olson tonight playing in his 60th career game against the Marlins.
There you see Graham Paulie playing at the shortstop position.
He can do it all. 3-2, foul, tipped, hung on to by Liam Hicks. Couple of punch outs and a perfect first.
The exclusivities.
There'll be 5 of them. 5 games will be on Peacock. Liam Hicks leads off the top of the 2nd inning for the Marlins, facing Grant Holmes, who needed just 10 pitches to navigate a perfect top of the 1st, and Yuri Perez just tossed a perfect bottom of the 1st. So we're off and running on a beautiful night here in Atlanta. Both the Marlins and the Braves playing within their division for the first time this season. And I bring that up, Nelly, because you have 2 teams here tonight going at the moment in quite the opposite direction. Marlins have lost 7 of 10. The Braves have won 6 of 10. That is Walt Weiss in his first year managing Atlanta. And I mention that because things can change really, really quick. Once you get into division play, you could be scuffling to the high heavens, but you can come here, put a really great series together, and you feel pretty darn good about it.
Well, if you look around baseball, look at everybody's record except the Dodgers. The Dodgers are in a league of their own.
Yes,
everybody else it's early. It's just they're right around 500.
That is struck sharply to Mauricio Dubon at short. He throws out Hicks at first. 4 up and 4 down for Holmes. Yes, the Dodgers are in a league of their own.
The NL East, everybody right around 500.
Yeah.
Maybe a game better.
Yeah, a couple games worse. Yeah, it's all bunched up. So that's all to say. Marlins might be struggling right now, but hey, come to Atlanta, take care of business, a place you've not been able to do that over the years. Win some ball games. They'll be feeling real good here in the next 72 hours. Otto Lopez has been feeling good all season long. He was our spotlight in our open here tonight. Otto batting .327 on the year. A couple of homers, 6 runs batted in. Went deep for the second time this season yesterday, late in the ball game in Detroit.
Well, this is his 16th game of the season. But out of the first 15, he's only been hitless in 3 of them. He's gone that well.
He waits on a 1-1 and a rip and a miss. 1-2. Otto in his last 8 games, 4 of those games have featured multi-hit performances. Boy, he has seemingly been a little uncomfortable going back to New York, and I haven't asked about it because he's in the lineup every day, but you could see him wincing a little bit there. 1-2 is pounded towards third and foul.
Yeah, he went deep yesterday, so it can't be too bad. A couple doubles on Saturday.
We've seen it though. He winces a little. He takes his time. He'll ask for time. He stretches things out a little bit. Here's his 3 hits against the Tigers over the weekend.
Couple doubles and then that home run, his 2nd of the year yesterday.
Pulled power. Check swing down to first. He went around. That's James Jean. 2 up and 2 down. 5 up and 5 down for Holmes.
Well, Holmes breaks his slider off. He has a little short one, and then he'll expand the zone right there. He gets really good spin on that breaking ball down. Hard for hitters to pick up.
If you love a good story, you'll find one with Grant Holmes as Owen Casey lays off a curveball in the dirt. Selected by the Dodgers in the first round, 22nd overall in 2014. Traded by Los Angeles to the Athletics along with Frankie Montas, Jarrell Cotton, and Josh Reddick. Those are some big names for Rich Hill in 2016. And as a former first-round pick who went 22nd overall, he toiled in the minor leagues for a decade before he finally made it to the big show, and he does it with Atlanta.
And I don't think
start here in Atlanta. He struck out 2 of the 3 batters he's faced here early. Well, Daniel Moscas told me the key getting ahead of this lineup. Moscas mentioned the majority of the damage have come in hitters counts. The Braves, they're hitting .396 and slugging .644 in hitters counts versus pitchers counts where they're hitting just .203 and slugging .317. As for Yuri's command issues, early this season he said it's all about confidence. So he's got some of the best stuff in Major League Baseball, and he showed it to him by showing him this tweet. Moscas said that this tweet from Pitch Profile has Yuri leading Major League Baseball in Pro Stuff Plus, which is basically focused purely on stuff. So Nelly, early here in this one, how is his stuff looking?
Well, he did a great job. I wanted 15 pitches or less in the first inning. You saw fastball usage. That's what you love to see from him.
Austin Riley with a high fly ball to center field for Jacob Marcy. And there's one away. Go on.
And you saw that list. And yes, does he have the stuff? Absolutely. The rest of those guys have put it together. And now it's up to him to put it together because he definitely has the stuff. At 6'8", he's already intimidating when you're stepping into the plate. And you look out there and you see 6'8", he's throwing almost 100 miles an hour. Right there, a hitter should instantly say, I have no shot.
Here is Mike Yastrzemski in his first season with Atlanta. I have often wondered, Nelly, if we put unrealistic expectations on Yuri when he came up, because when he debuted in May of 2023, this baby goat was 20 years old, and it takes a long time to figure yourself out and things out in the major leagues. As Yastrzemski sends one to center for Marcy, there's 2 up and 2 down. But there's still so much time for Yuri to develop, and he has developed in the major leagues, and he's still a work in progress, even though that stuff that we talked about is so darn good.
Well, like you mentioned earlier, he's going to be 23 on Wednesday. Yes. Is it unrealistic expectations? No, you should always expect the best or the greatest out of somebody that has that kind of stuff and that kind of ability. You know, it's not going to be unrealistic. It's something you just wait for him to put it together. And I think yes, you learn your body, you learn mechanics at 6'8". It's tough to repeat your mechanics. He has a tendency to really spin off to the first base side. And at 6'8", you should utilize that height and almost get over your front leg even more. I mean, it's 60 feet 6 inches from home plate to the mound. By the time he strides it, if he gets over his front leg, there's that changeup grip down. If he got over his front leg, what are you cutting off? 10, 12 feet?
That's a half swing and a ground ball to short, and a perfect second inning for Yuri. All lead. 2 up for the Marlins here in the 3rd. Connor Norby batting .238, 0 for 4 lifetime against Grant Holmes. A .150 hitter is Connor in 6 career games against Atlanta. The good news for Connor Norby, he's hitting 5 in a row. Let's see if he can keep it going here tonight. That is stung to second, but right at Albies. He throws him out. There's 1 away, and now a quick word for you from FPL.
At FPL, our teams are working every day because reliability isn't an option, it's a commitment. FPL, working for you every single day.
7 up and 7 down for Grant Holmes. Here is Heriberto Hernandez. So this is a battle this week of the 3rd youngest team in baseball. Might not be hard to guess. That would be the Marlins. And the oldest team in Major League Baseball, the Atlanta Braves. Heriberto hitting .132 on the year. Still looking to get things going.
Braves team, a lot of veterans, been around a long time, especially in the infield. Olson, Riley, Albies.
Speaking of them being a veteran-laden ball club, don't let me forget to give you a note that kind of blew my mind when I looked it up when I saw their starting lineup today. Don't let me forget. It's a little tease for the bottom of the 3rd. I couldn't believe it, though, when I started using my calculator and punching in some numbers. Really cool opportunity for Walt Weiss. Managed the Rockies about a decade ago for a handful of seasons. He was Brian Sinker's bench coach here for some years, and then Snit hung him up. He's still in the front office. But Walt Weiss gets another crack at this thing. I think he's a really good manager.
He is a great baseball person, a great baseball mind. Hey, how about did you see the brawl when the Braves and the Angels went at it?
Backhanded by Riley. The vacuum cleaner 3rd. Throws out Heriberto. 2 up and 2 down.
When Jorge Soler didn't like, I forget who was out on the mound. Maybe it was like Lopez or whatever. And Walt Weiss had to tackle Jorge Soler.
Yeah, it's so good. Well, here comes the hometown boy, Graham Pauley. Grew up in nearby Alpharetta, Georgia. There's his mother, Jennifer, who has not seen Graham today. This is the first time she is seeing him because she's got a 9 to 5, and her son is first pitch swinging, and he assists Grant Holmes with a quick and easy, tidy top of the 3rd. Ends in Anaheim when Reynaldo Lopez came up and in on the former Marlin Jorge Soler, and then all chaos ensued when these two started to go fisticuffs.
Oh, then everything starts swinging, windmills, and then watch Walt Weiss with the takedown. He's a grappler. One of my ex-teammates, watch him go from behind on Soler and
good
the
pad
tackle.
level. Look at the pad level.
And then it goes straight to the top with the headlock. You're not going anywhere, son.
This is lined out towards the gap in left center field. Dominic Smith is having a great start to his season with Atlanta. That's the first hit of our ball game here tonight. It's a leadoff double to start the third.
Well, resurgent from Dom Smith. He's been around, and he's caught on fire and got with the right guys to get him back swinging. What a start to his season as well. 355 in 12 ball games. Well, this is his 13th. That average will go up.
To wrap up that thought on Walt Weiss and the takedown, a couple of days later, after most people got a good fun laugh out of all that, as Michael Harris II is back tonight and swings and misses, Chris Sale bought Walt a bottle of wine, but he printed out the picture of the takedown and he actually taped the picture of the takedown to the bottle of wine as part of the presentation to his manager.
I have an ex-teammate named Darren Holmes. He was a pitcher, pitched around the big leagues a long time. He and Walt Weiss, they both lived in Colorado, and they would grapple against each other in the wintertime as part of their routine and part of their workout to get ready for the season. He is not someone you want to mess around with.
No, he's not. He has 3 rules in his clubhouse, as Harris II waits on a 1-1 and waves and misses. Rule number 1, you better be on time. Rule number 2, you better hustle. Rule number 3, you better respect the game. That's all he asks, and it didn't come out as to who it was, but one of his star players was caught in violation of that rule last week, and upon his entry to the ballpark one day, he was immediately pulled into his office to have a little conversation to make sure everybody was on the same page. I love to hear that.
Yeah, like I mentioned, he's a great baseball mind. I played against him when he was a shortstop, and he was a really good player, hard-nosed player. He's been a great coach, and he gets a chance to manage. He's been around a lot of great managers, so he's learned from a lot of guys. Bobby Cox, Snicker.
Here's a 2-2 to Harris coming from Uri. That's hit foul. Got some old footage for you. Walt Weiss as a Marlin. Look at this. Look at the shortstop, Walt Weiss.
Maybe about like 50 pounds lighter, too.
That's opening day 1993, right before Charlie Huff threw out the first pitch in franchise history. That leads me into another thought, actually. Just thinking about 1993 and the home opener for the Marlins. Yesterday was the 60-year anniversary of the first ever Major League Baseball game in Atlanta. 60 years ago last night, as a 3-2 fastball misses inside ball 4. And the first 2 Braves have reached base here in the third.
Tough walk right there. You got ahead of Harris and just couldn't finish him off. Let's see if the Braves sacrifice here. It's still early. You have to be aware, especially he's going to turn around and square around here.
And the old Butcher Boy play with Mauricio Dubon at the plate. Among qualified Atlanta Braves, their shortstop batting 9th leads the team with a .351 batting average.
Well, he pulled Norby, the first baseman, in with that bunt. He was about halfway in when he pulled that bunt back to swing.
Oh, wow. What a pick by Liam Hicks. I don't know how he prevented that ball from going to the backstop.
Uri really cross hard. Watch that front shoulder open up. And when that front shoulder flies open, you wind up cross-firing that slider. Outstanding stop. That could have been second and third.
Ball and a strike on Dubon. Braves coming off a series victory last night against the Guardians. Uri finding himself in a bit of trouble for the first time tonight. Maybe he can get out of it. He's held opponents to a career 192 opponent batting average with runners in scoring position, and that note would bode really well right here.
Well, he's got swing and miss stuff, so that really helps when you get in these situations when you can expand the zone or even throw a fastball upstairs.
1-2 misses low. By the way, real quick, I told you last night 60-year anniversary of the Braves playing in Atlanta for the first time. 50,671 on hand. You know who hit a pair of home runs in that game?
No.
Your old manager, Joe Torre.
Really?
Yeah.
You know, he could be a Hall of Fame hitter.
That is line foul.
A Hall of Fame player. He made the Hall of Fame as a manager.
Yeah.
And if you look up his numbers as a player, Hall of Fame worthy.
Yeah. Saw that last night and I thought, man, Nelly would probably love to hear that. Another 2-2 here to Dubon. This is the 6th pitch he's going to see from Uri. It's on its way and it's popped up. Behind the plate, is there room for Hicks? There is. That's a big first out. So first and second with one away. Here comes Acuna, but first Major League Baseball news and notes for you. Jacob deGrom struck out 9 Dodgers en route to a 5-2 win for the Rangers last night. Jordan Walker hit his 6th home run in his last 8 games, and Jorge Soriano struck out 10 Reds. This season, 4 wins, no losses, a minuscule 0.33 earned run average. Some teams out there off to real nice starts. Here's Acuna.
How about Jordan Walker? All the, I guess, question marks about will this guy ever stick in the big leagues? He's got tons of talent. Good to see that he's off to a great start.
Yeah, a lot of people were thinking too, push is coming to shove here. Something's got to give. It's put up or shut up time. Acuna in the air to deep left center field. Marcy and Hernandez are going back, and Marcy makes the grab. Tagging and going to third is Dominic Smith. Here comes a throw. Got him! Wow, what a relay! What a play! And an inning-ending double play for the Marlins. Extinguishes the fire here in the third. Braves will hold up play for a moment, but now they say play on. A double play ends it. Good throw and tag as we go to the fourth. All right, back here with a scoreless ball game as we go to the top of the fourth. The first pitch to Jacob Marcy from Grant Holmes. A fastball yanked foul. 0-1 on Marcy, who's 0 for 1 tonight. Boy, Braves running themselves right out of an inning there in the bottom of the third.
Yeah, I don't know what Dom Smith was thinking. That ball was deep enough that you should have been back on second. He didn't get back to second, and well after Marcy caught the ball, and I saw him try to tag up. I'm like, what are you doing? This is going to be an easy out at third. You never make the third out at third.
Ground ball up the middle. That's a base hit for Jacob Marcy. Boy, that must feel some good. It's the first base runner and base hit of the night for the Marlins.
Well, Skubal had a no-hitter through 5 in yesterday's ball game before Austin Slater broke it up. Well, no-hitter lasted until the fourth. There was a breaking ball, that curve ball. He doesn't throw those too often. It stayed on the outside half. Nice job by Marcy. Just taking it right back up the middle, right out of the reach of Albies. Let's see if he'll get something going on the base pass.
I would imagine that they will. You can run on Atlanta, and the Marlins have 19 stolen bases. That's the third most in Major League Baseball. And the guy at first, Jacob Marcy, leads your team with 6 stolen bases.
Well, the Guardians stole 6 bases in the last series. The base stealers are 12 for 13 off of Atlanta.
Edwards shows a bunt and pulls back. Edwards struck out back in the first. 2 for 13 on this road trip is X. Ramirez on deck. Marlins have their first hit of the ball game. It comes here in the fourth. Second time through the batting order. Edwards pops it foul. It's 2 balls and 1 strike. Well, today's youth player of the ball game is Matthew, who plays for Team Charlie in the Marlins Youth Academy. He loves playing dominoes. His favorite Marlin is this man, Xavier Edwards, and when he grows up, he wants to be a marine biologist and an MLB player.
Not that?
One or the other. He wants to do both at the same time, and I love to hear that, Matthew.
Great place for a marine biologist in Miami.
Yes, indeed. You could go to the University of Miami, and they have a biology campus out on Key Biscayne. There's even a wet bar there, too, Matthew, when you turn 21.
You could have a fake ID. You don't have to wait till you're 21.
That's true, too. We can get more into that later as the night grows older. That slider missed outside to X.
Well, the one thing Holmes does do as far as controlling the running game, he'll slide step. He doesn't really have a high leg kick. He'll mix up his times also to the plate. And Marcy over first really doesn't have a big lead.
2-1. Swing and a miss. 2-2 on Edwards. Yeah, he has not yet shown much of an inclination down there at first that he wants to steal. Should Edwards be retired, maybe the thought process changes. Craig Driver, first-year first base coach for the Marlins, in the back hip pocket of Marcy over there. Now he backs away.
Yeah, he's constantly giving Marcy times to the plate. Like what's his, when he slide steps or he lifts that leg. That one's a little bit of abbreviated leg kick, and you can see how quick he is.
Now 3-2. We going here? You trust Edwards to put the bat on the ball?
Absolutely, but the thing of it is that I haven't seen a lead from Marcy to ever think that he may be going here. I don't think he is.
Holmes thinks he is. Now that's the second disengagement. So now you have a full count in 2 disengagements. You got to go right here.
Well, you would think so. You can get a couple extra steps. Now he can still go over and pick you off, and if he doesn't get you, it's a balk. But still not a big lead from Marcy.
There he goes, and the pitch is ball 4. And the Marlins have first and second with nobody out here in the 4th, just like the Braves in the bottom of the 3rd. Speaking of the aforementioned Jordan Walker, don't miss the Marlins when they take on the Cardinals April 20th through the 22nd. 3 days of exciting ball games in action at the ballpark and a lot of can't miss deals. Get your tickets at marlins.com/tickets. A couple of Marlins fans in the house here tonight. He's half asleep. His daughter is not. He's got a little lather going. Look at that sweat. A little. It's a beautiful night, about 80 degrees. Here is Agustin Ramirez. That's backhanded by Baldwin. It kicks out in front of the plate, and it's 1-0 on Agustin. The Marlins over the weekend, worth mentioning one more time, they were 0 for 16 with runners in scoring position. They have had a difficult time scoring. This is their first real chance tonight. Can they capitalize here with the middle of the order due up? Throw back to second. That was really close.
It's a timing play. It's usually put on by the catcher. Sometimes the middle infielders are put it on. They want to see if this was close. I don't think so. But as soon as Holmes turns that head and picks up the glove, you'll usually see the catcher drop the glove, and as soon as it turns around and the second baseman picks up the back of Holmes's head is when he breaks, and then you have that spin move.
That's outside, ball 2. Boy, on that pitch, Xavier Edwards thought Marcy was going to steal because he was nearly halfway down to second. Ramirez in the driver's seat here. 2 balls and no strikes. Nobody out. Top 4, first and second, speed on. There's strike 1. Good slider from Grant Holmes.
Yeah, there's that little slider that he'll use. It's almost like a cutter that he'll use to get back into the count or get ahead. He doesn't give in. That was a fastball count, 2-0, and you wind up getting a little slider.
Now on a 2-1. Ramirez takes a big pass at a slider, and the count is level at 2-2.
Well, this is the bigger slider. The last one was a get me over, almost like a cutter. You see the depth on that pitch. Starts about the middle of the plate, about belt high. Ends up outside. He'll probably go right back to it.
Boy, Marcy and Edwards are really thinking about trying to pull off a double steal here, and Holmes just took notice. That's the second disengagement to second base. Marcy takes off. Edwards has the bag at second easily as a 2-2 is low ball 3. You can tell even early on, as soon as the Marlins got their first opportunity tonight, how aggressive they want to be on the bases.
Yeah, absolutely. And you have to. And you look at the numbers, 12 of 13 base stealers were successful against Atlanta. The Guardians 6 stolen bases in the last series.
Ball 4. Runners were off on the pitch. A slider missed in the dirt, a single, a pair of walks, and the Marlins have the bases loaded for Liam Hicks.
You see Baldwin, he's going to go out and settle Holmes down. He's gotten behind the count. On both Edwards and Ramirez, 2 walks. This might be a great opportunity. If you're Hicks, you may get a first pitch fastball. Be aggressive.
Bases loaded, no score, top 4. Liam Hicks, your cleanup hitter, is at the plate. Bounced out sharply to Mauricio Dubon to start the second.
Now the middle infield's going to stay back. The corners, well, the third baseman will play about even with the bag. Olson, the first baseman, he'll go behind. If it's hit to Riley, the third baseman, he'll go home.
There's ball 1. Slider missed low.
If you're Hicks on this at bat, you're looking dead red. Having a hard time getting his breaking stuff over right here over the last couple hitters. That first pitch was down.
There's the lefty righty splits for Liam Hicks in his career. A much better hitter against righties. He's in the driver's seat. Bases loaded, nobody out. The 1-0 pitch. Hicks pulls the trigger and he lines it to right field, right at Acuna, who makes a camp high catch. Here comes Marcy. He's going to score. Edwards goes to third. A sacrifice fly. The Marlins take their first lead of the ball game. It's 1-0 here in the 4th.
You pretty much knew you were going to get a fastball. It's just a matter of how hard Hicks was going to hit this. Maybe in the gap, lift it up a little bit higher, but he did his job with a sac fly. He got it in the air, bases loaded. Good manufactured run there. Here's a fastball. It's a good swing. A little surprised Ramirez didn't try tagging. He didn't watch the ball. I mean, that ball was overshooting the cutoff man, and Ramirez had it back turned.
So now a double play in order. It's up to Otto Lopez. See if he can come through with 1 out, and he will. Base hit into left field. 2-0 Miami. Otto Lopez not wasting any time, and he deposited that first pitch slider into left field.
Well, now you wonder if Ramirez over at first, if he wouldn't have had his back turned and he would have watched the throw from Acuna, he could have hustled to second. You might have scored on that. That might have been 2 RBIs there. First pitch slider up. And Lopez continues his hot start of the year.
Owen Casey lays off a fastball that misses high, ball 1. That ball was smoked. We were talking about hard hit balls by Lopez. And that was cracked into left. Here's Owen Casey, who grounded out back in the 2nd inning.
Yeah, 108 miles an hour off the bat.
There's ball 2. He won't do it now, but if Ramirez at second was thinking, boy, did I make a base running mistake? We have seen him multiple times throughout his very young career already try to steal third and do it successfully. Here's a 2-0, and Casey takes a big hack, comes up empty, 2-1.
Well, you look at Ramirez, and he has made some base running mistakes early in the season, but you don't want to take that aggressiveness away. Say, hey, still be aggressive on the base pass. Now, that time with the fly ball, if he was watching Acuna and watching the throw, I mean, he overshot Olson. It was probably 25 feet over his head, and he tried to throw the runner out at home. You could have taken a second.
There's ball 3 to Owen Casey, and the Braves bullpen is about to get busy as he comes home with a 3-1, and Casey swings and hits it high and deep to left center field, but playable for Michael Harris the second. Ramirez will tag at second, and now getting hung up between first and second is Lopez, but he dives back in safely at first. Ramirez goes second to third. Now there's 2 out, and Connor Norby will be the batter. Watch Otto Lopez here.
Well, he slips going back, and Harris with nice job knowing that he wasn't going to get Ramirez at third. He tries to go to second as Lopez wanted to try to tag up as well. When he went back to first, he slipped. That right foot slipped out.
Good omen for the Marlins, a winning record when scoring first this season. So first and third with 2 out now. And here is Connor Norby. He is the 7th Marlin to bat here in the 4th inning. 2-0 Fish.
There's an opportunity for Lopez to possibly steal a base. First and third situation, 2 outs. You don't see a lot of clubs throw through.
No, you don't. He is not going, and Norby bangs one through the right side. It was vacated. That's a base knock It's a run batted in. It's 3-0. Goodness, what a nice piece of hitting for Connor Norby, who's now hitting 6 in a row.
Well, I got a first pitch fastball, and he just goes the other way. He saw that hole, and he saw where Albies was playing up the middle. They were playing him pull, and he does so well. Such a good job going the other way. That's a big RBI right there.
And here comes Jeremy Hefner in his first season as the pitching coach of the Atlanta Braves by way of the New York Mets, where he was for some seasons. 3 runs, 3 hits, a couple of walks, and the Marlins have raced out to a 3-0 lead for Yuri Perez, who looks pretty darn sharp here in the early going.
Yeah, he does, and now you can relax a little bit. Go out and try to keep it 15 pitches or under, fill up the zone, be aggressive in the strike zone. And on the other hand, you can see when Holmes is not getting his off speed over that slider, the fastball is hittable.
4th career start for Grant Holmes against the Marlins here tonight. Picked up his first win of the season in his last start against the Angels 5 days ago. Here is a scuffling Heriberto Hernandez, and there would be no better time than now to collect a base knock. You've got enough speed at second. Should Hernandez get a hit, should make it 4-0. Heriberto in search of his 6th hit of the season. He does have 5 runs batted in, and Holmes is really going through it here in the 4th. He's already thrown 26 pitches.
How about his first home run and make it 6-0?
Here's a 2-0, and Hernandez lays off a high slider that's called a strike. You calling your shot?
Well, I thought he was going to get a slider 2-0, and I thought he was going to hang it. That ball was a little up and a little away.
Three runs, 3 hits, still 2 men on base, 2 out here in the top of the 4th. Marlins have scored as many runs in this 4th inning, sending 7 batters to the plate than they did in 27 innings all weekend in Detroit. Check swing. James Jean said that Hernandez held his swing. Now it's 3-1, and I'm not sure, but if he walks Heriberto Hernandez, Grant Holmes is going to get an early dinner.
Well, he's not going to give in here, I don't think. I think he goes back to a slider.
And he walked him, but Drake Baldwin would like to challenge. The Braves have not been very good at challenging this season. ABS is powered by T-Mobile, but this last pitch looked pretty good. We'll see. Yes, indeed, that was a called ball. It is a strike, and now the count is full.
That had a lot of the plate.
So a good, successful overturn and challenge for Drake Baldwin. Runners will go. The 3-2 pitch is waved at and missed. Strike 3. Side retired, damage done after 3.5. The fish.
Take a look at our Toyota trend. This is one reason why Otto Lopez, he continues to hit the ball hard. He's tied for 5th in both hard hit balls and hard hit percentages. Otto, he's well aware of the improvement. I asked him about it. He had this big grin on his face. He said, well, I'm proud. He attributed it to 2 different things, guys. One, a tweak in his stance. Last year, he had more of an open stance, and it was Pedro Guerrero who said, hey, let's try to close that off a little bit more and get straight to the pitcher. Second, it's that stack program. He said he really committed to it this spring. He uses it every single day. He's releasing the positive results.
All right, Kelly, thank you very much. I could understand why he has a nice grin on his face when he is talking about the changes that he's made. And I'll tell you, Nelly, he and Liam Hicks are the 2 guys that immediately come to mind when you think about offseason changes and programs and that work paying big dividends here early.
Oh, absolutely. Just on Otto Lopez, you know, the 15 home runs, 77 RBIs. I think he could be a 20 home run guy and drive in more. You know, we talked about in the open, he's an underrated player. He's not well known around the league, but he's one of the most solid players in the game.
Yep.
And I think he could be an all-star.
It's a crowded shortstop, but he belongs right at the top of that list. All right, a 3-0 advantage for Yuri Perez as Drake Baldwin leads off the bottom of the 4th inning for Atlanta. Yuri kicks and fires. Change up low.
Well, with a 3-run lead, this is where you'd like to see command of the fastball. Hey, go ahead and hit it. You know, 39 pitches. You're in the 4th inning. Your pitch count is perfect.
And on a 1-1. Missed inside on Baldwin. Ball 2.
I know Drake Baldwin has had a great year, a great start to his year, but go after him, fill up the zone.
He did right there. That's line to right field, sinking quickly and down for a base hit in front of Owen Casey to begin the 4th. But you'd much rather see that.
Well, yeah, but you'd much rather see him get ahead, and if you're getting ahead with him with the fastball, you have that backdoor breaking ball, and then all of a sudden you hit 2 more off speed, and then you had to come back with the fastball. You'll take a base hit, but at the same time, you could have been 1-2 or 0-2 and then gone to the off speed. You might have still had the same result.
Leadoff single, second hit of the ball game for the Braves. Here's Matt Olson. 98 runs away from him. Ball 1. Matt Olson is in his 11th season. 3-time All-Star, 3-time Gold Glove Award winner. Elite power hitting first baseman for the Atlanta Braves. Watches that fastball zip by outside. It's 2-0 on Olson, who's playing in an 8-year $168 million deal that runs through 2029 with a team option for 2030. On a 2-0 sweeper. Misses high, ball 3.
And one thing you don't want to do after scoring 3 runs, you got a 3-0 lead. You want to go after these hitters. Hey, yes, the Braves are getting off to a great start. One of the top offenses in baseball, but still, you got to believe that your stuff is better than the guys at the plate, especially when you have a 3-0 lead and you can make some errors. You can make some missed pitches.
Broken bat flare into right field. That's another base hit. Baldwin will stop at second. And for the 2nd consecutive inning, the Braves have runners at first and second with nobody out.
I was a little surprised that Olson swung 3-0 there. He hit it off the end of the bat. And a flare into right field.
Sounded like he broke it.
Yeah.
That one died a hero. Here is Austin Riley. For 1 tonight. Slider misses in the dirt. Ball 1 on Riley, who signed a 10-year $212 million deal that runs through 2032 with a 2033 team option. You know, that's the largest playing contract in franchise history.
I did not know that.
Yeah. He lays off a 1-0 slider. Boy, just so insistent on throwing these breaking balls early in counts, and he's constantly behind.
Well, you have to trust your stuff. You have to trust that I can throw 98 to 99 and you're not going to hit me. When you're behind and you're constantly spinning the ball, now you're going to have to come back with a fastball. It plays in the hitter's favor now.
2-0. That is roped down the left field line. That is trouble. 1 run will score. Stopping at first is Riley. Olson goes to third. Baldwin scores from second. Braves are on the board. It's 3-1, looking for more.
Well, this is where you got to go out and talk to Yuri, settle him down a little bit. You had a 3-0 lead, and Daniel Moscas will do that exact thing. Go out and settle him down. You have a 3-0 lead, and you immediately start spinning the ball. And once you get behind, if you're not throwing your off speed for strikes, advantage hitter. And he's lucky that ball rode inside just a little bit on Riley, or that might have been a tie score.
Now, I would say Daniel Moscas going out there to Chad, there was a day and age where the conversation is, hey, enough of the breaking balls, let's get back to a fastball. But again, remember, these pitches are now being called from the dugout.
Yeah, they are, and they still have an opportunity to shake off. You know, you would like to think that Hicks behind the plate and also Yuri on the mound is still having some learning and understanding what the hitters are trying to do. And basically, hey, we do have that 3-0 lead. Well, not anymore. Let me go after him. Let me get ahead with the fastball. It came out, spin right away. and you wind up having first and third situation. It's a 2-run game.
Here is a struggling left fielder in Mike Yastrzemski, who's 0 for 1 tonight. And the runner takes off from first. There is no throw to second. Riley got an out of this world jump. Not sure they were going to go through anyway, but he was all over Uri's delivery. For Riley, that's his second stolen base of the year.
Well, watch this. Watch Riley. This is a situation where you got to tell Uri to step off. As soon as you see Riley start jumping off, Uri didn't go into a set. He didn't lift that leg. You got to immediately yell step off, and not allow him to get to second base. Now the infield has to come in with nobody out.
Marlins and Uri Perez have got to reel this back in quickly. Yastrzemski lines it into right field for a base hit. Olsen will score. Tommy Watkins will stop Riley at third. And as quickly as the Marlins got 3 on the board, the Braves are poised to get it right back. There's still nobody out.
Well, you brought the infield in. Now, if the infield was back, this might have been an out. This was a breaking ball that stayed out over the middle of the plate. And just gets past Edwards. See, if Edwards is playing back, maybe he gets that ball because you're playing Yastrzemski to pull. But because of that stolen base, you got to bring the infield in. And it causes a base hit. And an RBI.
Now it's Albies' turn. First pitch fastball. Lifted in the air down the line. Hernandez in pursuit. It's into the seats. It goes foul. 0-1 on Ozzie Albies.
Now what's interesting here, Kyle, the last at bat when Yastrzemski was up, the Marlins brought the infield in, nobody out. It was second and third, but now with first and third, you bring them back, you push them back, try to get the double play, but also you have to be aware of Yastrzemski that can also steal a base.
And we know how slow Uri is to the plate. He's not going. That time he was much quicker. That was a slide step that we don't see all that often, which would behoove him to use more.
Yeah, exactly. And there, when you slide step, you just have to make sure your arm gets out and gets up into a throwing slot. That time it drug a little bit, and that's why that little breaking ball was up a little bit.
1-1. Changeup floats up and away from Albies. Ball 2.
Sometimes when you're not used to slide stepping and you're trying to control the running game, your pitchers will elevate in the strike zone.
2-1 on Albies. First and third, nobody out. 3-2. The pitch outside, ball 3. Starting to get away from him in a hurry, isn't it?
Well, it's just coming out, and you saw spin right away. Instead of attacking the zone, we talked about it earlier, be aggressive in the strike zone. That's all you wanted to see, Uri. He was aggressive in the strike zone in the first 3 innings.
The 3-1 is popped up. Will it stay in play for Liam Hicks? It will. That is a huge first out of this 4th inning for Uri Perez. And now you've got Dominic Smith coming to the plate, who is a double play candidate if he could induce a ground ball right here to get out of this thing. That would be huge.
Yeah, Albies being aggressive in a 3-1 count. He got a fastball in on his hands, and that was a big out there. Might have swung at ball 4. But you're right, Kyle. This is a double play situation. You also have to watch Yastrzemski over there at first. He may try with 1 out. First and third situation. There you see the infield for the Marlins now will come in.
Dominic Smith doubled his first trip to the plate. And now the runner takes off. He is standing at second when the ball crosses home plate.
Well, exactly the same as Riley, but I did hear, even all the way up here, I did hear step off, step off. Yastrzemski started running way before Uri picked up his leg, and he just could not step off. Easy stolen base for Yastrzemski.
His first of the season. Here's a 1-0 to Smith, and that is torpedoed into right. That's going to tie the game. Casey makes the catch. Yastrzemski will stay at second. Tagging and scoring from third is Riley. The Marlins give him 3 right back. We're tied at 3.
Well, he came out in this inning, Uri did, and he pitched like it was 0-0. Instead of, hey, I have a 3-0 lead, let me attack the zone. Instead, he winds up falling behind. Mechanically, he's off. Then he all of a sudden starts second guessing his pitches. Not committed, not being convicted. And he starts aiming the ball. You'll see the pitches elevated out over the middle of the plate. The breaking ball wasn't as sharp. The fastball starts leaking out over, and he gets hit a little bit.
There's an 0-1 counted to Michael Harris, the second. It's knocked foul, 0-2. Aaron Bummer is the lefty up in the bullpen for the Braves. We'll see if Grant Holmes' night is over. Harris, the 7th Brave to bat here in the 4th. As he waits on an 0-2 and wastes that one foul. Off the paternity list and batting in a key spot in this game, albeit the bottom of the 4th.
Well, this is where you have to read a swing. What did he do with that 98-mile-an-hour fastball on the outside corner? Hit it over the third base dugout. You do not want to try to speed up his bat here.
With a breaking ball. So he stays away from him with a changeup.
Which is a pitch that he could have made a mistake. It was away, but you're still speeding up his bat there. I would still go on with the fastball away. Make him beat you away. He hasn't shown that he's going to be able to pull 98, 99.
So now 61 pitches for Uri. Trying to get himself out of further damage being done here in the 4th inning. He kicks and fires. That's a fastball. And Harris laid on 98 again. 25 pitch 4th inning to date. After he was really economic in the first 3.
And right here, he's covered the outside corner, even though he's fouling it off the other way. Perfect time to come inside with another fastball.
Not
he would lock him up. Not a breaking ball, a fastball, a little bit more in and up.
Slider misses low and in. See if that just sets up a fastball away again. Yastrzemski with an RBI single and a stolen base. He's at second with 2 out. Chopper off his glove. Go to first is not in time. Total pitcher's instincts, but it's 6-8. If it doesn't clip his glove, the inning is over. Yeah, you're right. And that's what it is. As soon as anything gets hit back, your first instinct as a pitcher said, hey, I'm going to go get it, because you're thinking it's going to be hit up the middle. It's probably an easy ground ball to Lopez, and it's a 6-3. You're out of the inning. But since that hits off the glove and it goes straight up in the air, you're not getting Harris. And again, first and third situation. Watch for a stolen base. How long will he wait to go is the question.
I think first pitch.
Nope. There's ball 1 on Dubon. But you do have to imagine he won't waste too much time. Both teams very aggressive on the base paths early in this game. Marlins got 3 in the top half of this inning. Braves have gotten them right back. Harris is not going. And that misses up and in on Dubon. Ball 2.
Well, you might see him stay put here. Down a 2-0 count. Maybe want to keep Uri struggling here.
There he goes. There's a fly ball to right field. Should get him out of the inning. And it will. But the Braves get 3 back, and we're tied at 3 as we go to the 5th. Saturday, April 18th at 4:10. A special ticket package includes a Marlins versus Brewers ticket, plus an exclusive Marlins hockey jersey. Get your tickets now at marlins.com/hockey. It's a young Marlins fan in attendance. He's got last year's teal Florida Marlins cap on, the Hall of Fame version. Marlins got 3 in the top of the 4th. Atlanta got them 3 back. And they got them right back. As Graham Pauley leads off this 5th inning for Miami. There's his mom, Jennifer. She looks very nervous. Is she laughing or is she crying? New pitcher in the ballgame for Atlanta is Aaron Bummer. Walt Weiss sensing Grant Holmes simply didn't have it tonight, so he lifts his starter after 4 innings. And he allowed 3 runs all earned on 3 hits, 2 walks, and 3 strikeouts. Bummer's 2-0 is a curveball that dents the inside corner.
Bummer throws a lot of curveballs, 2-seamer. He's got a cutter, 90 to 91 on the fastball. Hasn't given up a run yet. See, this is his 7th appearance. Both the Braves and the Marlins have really good bullpens. The Marlins #1 in baseball with a 1.95 ERA, and the Marlins not too far behind, 2.81. That's 4th.
Yes.
In baseball.
Once it gets to a battle of the bullpens here tonight, it's already started for Atlanta. It's who's going to blink first. Pair of very good bullpens as Pauley waits on a 3-1 and bounces it up the middle. This has got eyes and it rolls into center field for a leadoff single. Mama loves it.
I think she just had a long day at work, just gets to the park. There you go. High fives for the crowd.
She's rocking the teal top.
It's in a hitter's count. Fastball away. Right back up the middle. Base hit.
Nice job too. Lefty-lefty matchup there. Here's Jacob Marcy. First pitch sinker. That's a called strike. 0-1 on Jacob, who's 1 for 2. Singled and scored in the 4th. It's a proud mom. Fly ball shallow center. Harris has got it. 1 away.
Well, with Bummer's arm angle, you would think that he'd be a little bit better against lefties than righties. Comes a little 3/4 from the left side. A lot of curveballs. Not an overpowering fastball, so when he gets behind, he is hittable. Jammed Marcy there with a fastball.
He is hittable. You are right. There is a but there, though. Nobody can ever hit him hard. Last season, he ranked in the 99th percentile in baseball with a barrel rate of just 3.2%.
Wow.
Nearly and literally the very best in baseball last season of making sure that a ball cannot be hit hard against him. That's hit pretty well into right field. And that's a base hit for Xavier Edwards. Back come the Marlins here in the 5th now.
Well, nice job going the other way. He barreled that one up.
Yes, he did.
There's that 3/4 angle, and then as a right-handed hitter, you're going to see it a little bit better because of the angle and the way it comes into a righty. You pick it up just a little bit better. Fastball up and away, and there you see that hole. Albies playing more up the middle. Let's see if the Marlins can do anything here. 1st and 2nd, 1 out.
And that'll bring Augustine Ramirez to the plate, who's 0 for 1, walked and scored in the 4th, and Ramirez takes a called strike. That was the Bummer curveball. Augustine has hit in 5 of 7. He has been better at home than he has been on the road this year. Big opportunity right here. There's a swing and a drive in the air. Deep to left. Come on. Get legs. Goodbye. Augustine Ramirez. That's his first homer of the season. And it couldn't come at a better time at 6-3.
You just had that feeling. Remember, I had that feeling that maybe Marcy and Ramirez could get their first home run of the year. It came at a big time. After seeing the Braves come back to tie it up in the bottom of the 4th.
It's another Marlins home run for healthcare presented by Leon Medical Centers. Each Marlins homer this season means a donation to the League Against Cancer, delivering free care in South Florida. So Ramirez is on the board with #1. Boy, does that feel good. And the Marlins making a dent on this Atlanta bullpen. They are pounding Bummer here in the 5th. That's Hicks with a base knock. Let's go back to the homer.
Well, Ramirez is thinking off speed. Bummer wanted to try to come back in there with that breaking ball, and he just gets underneath it. Great angle there, seeing him get underneath that breaking ball, and it hangs. You had Ramirez out on his front foot, but he kept his hands back and he smoked it.
Into a trot immediately.
418 feet. Big 3-run homer.
3-0 to 3-3 to 6-3. Now there's a luxury that the Braves have. They are currently only operating with a 4-man rotation. So they have an extra guy in the bullpen, which probably allowed Walt Weiss to go to that bullpen maybe a little bit earlier than most managers would, I would imagine. But the move to bring in Bummer has turned into a real bummer for the Braves.
Well, Holmes only had 59 pitches through 4 innings.
Yeah.
He did give up 3 runs. Now, he did strike out the last batter in that 4th inning and still got pulled.
Yeah. Lopez with an RBI single in the 4th. He's got 7 runs batted in now this year. Ball in to strike, the count on Otto. Runner at first. The pitch hit in the air down the right field line. Twisting foul.
A good swing on that breaking ball, just a little bit underneath it, but he saw it well from Bummer. Those 3 runs are the first runs Bummer has given up this year.
His streak of 6 appearances without a run allowed to start the season was the longest of his career. As he kicks and fires a 1-2 that swung on and missed. Lopez is down on strikes for the 2nd time tonight. There's 2 out now for Owen Casey. Man, what a big blast for Augustin Ramirez. Personally, a guy that really needed it, and collectively you can exhale a little bit after you gave the 3 right back to him in the bottom of the 4th.
Well, and also hitting your first home run of the year. I mean, you expected, okay, this is where the power is going to come, or a lot of it, in that Marlins lineup with Ramirez's bat, and you were waiting for it, and I'm sure he was waiting for his first home run. Now he can relax a little bit.
He finished 6th in Rookie of the Year voting last season, had the 21 homers. He's on the board here in 2026 as Hicks takes off. Baldwin's throw to second. That clipped the glove of Dubon, and it rolls into shallow center where Ozzie Albies needs to track it down. That's a stolen base for Liam Hicks. You don't see many of those.
Well, it goes first move on Bummer. The lefties, as soon as they lift that front heel, you're off. If Dubon picks this, Hicks is probably out, or even if it's a good throw. Little short hop gets into center field. Good heads-up base running.
Yeah, Hicks had 2 stolen bases as a rookie last year. He's on the board with 1. Not a bad chance to take there either, because you've already got the 3 on the board. A 2-strike count to Owen Casey. If he gets thrown out, worst case scenario, Casey leads off the 6th, but now you got a man in scoring position. Casey's been stinging the ball as he lays off a sweeper, ball 3.
And you got another left on left situation. Paulie with a base hit off a lefty Bummer. Hicks base hit off a lefty Bummer.
That is Roldy Munoz, the brother of former Marlin Roddery Munoz, who was just called up. Strike 3 call. Inning over. Damage done. Augustin Ramirez turns and burns. Pulls the trigger. And he demolishes one deep into the Atlanta night. It's 6-3 Marlins. We're halfway home. Augustin Ramirez didn't miss fire on an Aaron Bummer curveball in the top of the 5th. And Yuri Perez will once again work with a 3-run advantage. Let's go right to Yuri. He had a 3-run lead the last time he took them out. What has to be different right here?
You got a challenge with the fastball. Too much spin in that previous inning. You watch the Braves come right back and tie it up. There are 2 fastballs to lead off this inning, and that's exactly what you need to do. And I even like coming inside in Acuna. You need to bunch him up, tie him up, and then you can expand the zone.
Totally agree. You have to make him uncomfortable. Swing and a miss. Good slider. 1 and 2. You don't have to hit him. but he has been a guy throughout the course of his career. You can rattle his cage a little bit if you put him on his rear end and stick one on him inside.
Now that pitch was a backup slider, and usually when you have a backup slider, you might want to call it again and get well off the plate. See if Hicks gets off the plate and you pull it across the plate.
On a 1-2, that's grounded into right field, the base hit. Leadoff man aboard.
Now it was a mislocated fastball. Hey, I like him coming out. I'm never going to be upset when you're coming out and you're just trying to fill up the strike zone and you're being aggressive. The fastball was supposed to be away. You watch where it ended up. A little bit more on the inside corner, and Acuna just goes the other way with it. And you always have to watch Acuna over there. Even down 3, they're still aggressive on the bases.
He's got a big lead, and they check in on him. Here's a remarkable note I meant to tell you earlier in this game. This Braves team, construction-wise, courtesy of Alex Anthopoulos, has been very consistent for the better part of, what, 6-7 years now? Same guys, day in and day out. This starting lineup for the Atlanta Braves tonight, coming into this game, had combined to play 523 games against the Marlins and had combined to hit 101 homers.
Really?
That's a lot, but it's just the same guys day in and day out. Remarkably consistent. Perez falls off the mound. It's 2-0 on Baldwin. Still no activity in the Marlins bullpen yet, but that may change because they don't want to waste away a pair of 3-run leads here. Acuna at first. Baldwin waits on a 2-0. And Yuri gets that one across for a strike. And now Andrew Nardi is up and loosening. And he's doing so with a purpose.
Yeah, Yastrzemski is up. He's the 3rd, or maybe even Olsen on deck. Bring him in then.
Double throw to first. That's the 2nd disengagement on Acuna, which he will now probably be even more incentivized to try to run.
And this might be a off-speed
Look at his
pitch
lead.
here.
It's a huge lead, and he bluffs. And his slider misses outside, ball 3.
When Yuri's mechanics gets off, he really falls off to that first base
Yeah,
side.
you're right.
Instead of getting over his front leg, he still falls off, but not as bad. But when it goes really poorly, you see right there how he spins off and goes to the first base side, and then that front shoulder opens up, the arm drags, and a lot of times those pitches are well away and outside.
Here comes Clayton McCullough. He has seen enough. He's not going to let Yuri try to get himself through 5 innings and qualify for a win. The Marlins are not in a situation right now where they have the luxury to try to do that. Trying to snap a 3-game losing streak. Their offense has been terrific tonight. We'll step aside. We'll tell you about Andrew Nardi when we return. It's merch and concessions. Learn more at marlins.com/members. Clayton McCullough being very aggressive here tonight. He has lifted Yuri Perez after 4+ innings. That is it. No win in it for him. Here is Andrew Nardi, who pumps in a fastball on Matt Olson.
Yeah, Nardi's been solid out of that bullpen. You need a strikeout. He's got swing and miss stuff. Good fastball. There you see the numbers. 6 punch outs in 4 innings, making his 6th appearance.
Swing and a miss by Olson. 0-2. Good slider.
Yeah, good fastball at 95, and then you expand the zone with that slider. Now you really got to be careful. Now he has covered the outside part of the plate. He shortens up his swing. Olson has over the last few games. I've seen him go the other way. I'd still stick with that slider. See if Hicks gets well off the plate.
They do plan to pull. Left side of the infield wide open. Paulie's off the bag at 3rd. Andrew Nardi, the first line of defense for this Marlins pitching staff tonight. He is trying to pick up Yuri Perez and strand those 2 base runners for him. Strike 3 call. What a beautiful slider that ties up Matt Olson. He was jumping out of the batter's box.
That's an outstanding slider. That's when you keep that front shoulder closed. Watch the knee buckler. There is no shot he was swinging at that one. He gave up on this pitch right when it started aiming at that front hip. Big strikeout.
Said, see ya, I'm out. The 6th appearance for Nardi. There's out number 1. Ooh, that was close. I think this could be a good challenge.
Well, it's worth a shot.
Oh, that looked like a good pitch.
Yeah, I think it might have got that inside corner.
ABS, powered by T-Mobile. Yes, good challenge, Liam.
Well, you're in a situation, 0-1 is a lot better than 1-0, and that was a close pitch. Good challenge there.
A successful challenge by Liam Hicks from 1-0 to 0-1. Riley waits on a 1-strike offering. And there is ball 1. "26 successful challenges by the Marlins, 3rd most in baseball. Check that, tied for 2nd. And that one split the wickets of Hicks. Almost looked like it crossed him up. And both base runners will move up 90 feet on what will probably be a wild pitch, but they could go past ball.
Well, it looked like he went to catch that normally and then turned his glove real quick. And it got past, got right through the wickets.
And they do go past ball. It's the first pass ball of the season charged to Liam Hicks.
You go palm down, next thing you know, you make your decision to try to go palm up with the glove, and it's just a little too late.
Now Nardi needs to dial up another strikeout. Acuna's at 3rd, Baldwin at 2nd, 6-3 Marlins in the 5th, 2-2 in the dirt. That one blocked by Hicks. Now the count is full with Mike Yastrzemski on deck. That was a really nice block.
A real nice block. If you're going to go and throw a slider here, better at backdooring it.
You think he does here?
He could backdoor it here. You got to really be careful of leaving the slider up and in on a righty, especially with Riley and the power he has. If you want to go in with a fastball.
Payoff is grounded off of Nardi right to 2nd. A run will score, but the out is recorded. RBI ground out goes 1-4-3. Acuna scores. Now it's 6-4. Marlins will take that. They'll exchange that run for an out.
Yeah, absolutely. And it was a good pitch. You didn't want to go slider here unless it was backdoor. He did go inside with a fastball. Luckily, that didn't ricochet off the glove of Nardi even further. It hits his glove. But Edwards was right there.
And now Walt Weiss, in an uber aggressive move, is going to pull back Mike Yastrzemski. And he's going to send Kyle Farmer to the plate. Local hometown boy who is just tickled beyond belief to now be playing for his hometown team. So Walt Weiss goes to his bench. Here's Farmer. That leaves White, Mateo, and Heim. And Farmer lays off a slider. Ball 1. Kyle Farmer's in his 10th season, born in Atlanta, a graduate of Marist School and the University of Georgia. Go Dogs. Signed with the Braves in February. And the opening day roster. Almost hit him. Now Yuri just lingering, kind of peeking out from that clubhouse tunnel to see if Nardi can limit the damage. And he's done a pretty good job of it so far as Farmer waits on a 2-0. Missed ball 3.
Well, I think Farmer's going to be aggressive here. He may get the green light 3-0. You have first base open, but you have Albies. You'd like to try to get back in the count, maybe with a breaking ball here.
Strike call. Fastball dotted the inside corner. Now Anthony Bender is loosening. Farmer chops a 3-1 slider foul. Now the count is full. Andrew Nardi having to work really hard in relief of Yuri Perez. and he's done a pretty darn good job. Only one run is scored. And he inherited first and second with nobody out. There's double-barreled action of the bullpen for Atlanta. The guy on the left, former Marlin Tyler Kinley. 3-2. Weak ground ball to short. Lopez, the first inning over. Braves get a run. We go to the 6th. It's 6-4.
Across 3 starts, a reminder, Garrett did miss all that 2025 season with injury, guys. It was a tough decision to send him down to start with Jacksonville, but again, the Marlins at that point thinking, okay, maybe he needs a little bit more time since he was working his way back from injury. But guys, he looks great.
Yes, he does, putting a lot of heat on Peter Bendix and Gabe Kapler to maybe think about giving him a call. This is crushed to left, deep, back, gone. Connor Norby, his second. The Marlins get that run right back. It's 7-4. I mean, that was rude what he just did to Munoz, his first pitch in this ballgame.
Oh, Munoz, this is his first appearance up this year. He had 7 2/3 scoreless in AAA. Well, welcome to the big leagues. First pitch fastball deposited in the Marlin bullpen. Marlins get that run back.
This offense is partying. It's up and in on Hernandez. Here's another look at the homer.
Well, first pitch fastball. He drilled it. 94. He knew it right away. 380 feet, 105 miles an hour off the bat.
Never a doubt. Ground ball past Olsen into right field for a base hit. That homer by Connor Norby, another Marlins home run for healthcare presented by Leon Medical Centers. Each Marlins homer this season means a donation to the League Against Cancer, delivering free care in South Florida.
Norby's second home run of the year. So you get a little warm weather now. Offense starts coming around.
Yeah,
it's not fun hitting in 40 degrees.
Right, and I know we say that partially in jest, but it's a real thing. The Marlins just went 0 for 16 in Detroit. Couldn't hit their way out of a paper bag. They scored 3 runs over 27 innings. They looked lethargic offensively. And then you come to Atlanta. There's a little bit of heat here, quite literally, especially when you're playing inside of your division. The stakes are a bit higher. It's a beautiful night for baseball. And this offense turned the key. They turned on the ignition, and they've turned themselves loose. And it's really quite a delight to see. Graham Pauley just tried to make his mother Jennifer really proud and put one into the chop house in right, but he came up empty.
I'm sure if you're a Marlins player, you're on that weather app and say, hey, what's the temperature in Atlanta? Right. Oh, thank goodness. And if you're a pitcher, I can grip the ball and then I can feel the bat finally.
That's a foul ball. It hit James Jean. Boy, I thought that went over the bag at first.
Yeah, I thought so too, but it looked like it hit him in that left foot when he tried jumping into fair territory. Watch, he's in foul territory. He tries jumping into fair territory and it hits him right off the left foot.
Really close.
That was close.
About as close as it gets. Look out, James.
That's a kick save.
Yeah. Man, and again, I know the ball hits in foul territory, but if it goes over the bag, it's a fair ball. Anyway, now a 1-2. That miss. You know, we have showed his mother Jennifer, and I'm not sure how many more times we can show her because she looks like an absolute disaster and wreck. Every time he comes to the plate, look at her. She doesn't know what to do. She's beside herself. She's hanging on for dear life. She needs a seatbelt.
She needs a drink.
Or 2.
Somebody get her a glass of wine.
Oh my gosh, or the bottle. Oh my goodness. 7 runs, the most at Truist Park since August 4th of 2024. That might have been the Garrett Cooper grand slam after a long rain delay in the 9th inning, but I cannot be positive. Strike 3 called, and Graham will half-heartedly challenge. He's not convinced. Might be a good challenge.
I think that might have caught the outside corner.
Well, we'll see. And it did by a whisker. not an awful challenge. Just a really good pitch. And there's one away. It's not funny, but jeepers.
He didn't want to strike out in front of Mom.
Now, does she have to work tomorrow? What time does she have to be in at the office? Can't tell if she's in tears or if she's just really proud or what's happening. All right, here's Jacob Marcy. He's 1 for 3 tonight. Marlins have got a run back here in the 6th inning on a leadoff homer by Connor Norby. It's outside. Good eye. You know, I thought it was interesting. The ever patient Jacob Marcy tried to turn it loose on a first pitch fastball from Grant Holmes tonight to start this game.
You know, sometimes in the leadoff spot, you're taught, hey, try to be patient. You want to let the rest of the lineup know what this pitcher has right off the bat. When you struggle a little, you're like, heck with that. If I'm getting a first pitch fastball, I'm swinging. And you like to see it. Let the second guy take pitches. I'm swinging at the first pitch.
Good eye. Marlins have a run off of Roldy Munoz. He is the brother of former Marlin Roddery Munoz, and they darn near look identical to one another. Clayton McCullough happy with the way his offense is performing here tonight. 2-2 runner goes, and that's going to be a stolen base for Heriberto Hernandez. Baldwin couldn't handle the pitch cleanly, and even if he did, I'm not sure he was going to get Heriberto.
Now watch the jump. There's that little jump move over at first. You're almost getting a running start. Munoz is not holding on the runner, and you're stealing off of the pitcher 99% of the time. Really tough for catchers to throw guys out now.
And that is ball 4, but a heck of a pick by Baldwin to make sure Hernandez does not go to third. So Marcy's on base for the second time tonight. Here comes Xavier Edwards with one away. This is the Marlins offense that we have come to know and love. It's very pesky, sprinkling a little bit of power, but they just totally wear you down. They've got a couple of stolen bases tonight, a boatload of hits, 9 of those, a couple of homers. Being very patient. They've already knocked Grant Holmes and Aaron Bummer out of the game. Munoz, the third pitcher for Walt Weiss. We're only in the 6th. Just a terrific start to this series. Obviously, the Marlins need to hang on. This place has been a bit of a house of horrors over the years, but just a lovely start to this ball game and series tonight. Edwards 1 for 2, couple of runs scored. As he waits on an 0-1 from Munoz. It's chop foul. StatCast 3D powered by Google Cloud. Look at this. This is the impact point for Xavier Edwards this season. Everything is out in front of the plate. What do you make of that?
Well, he's getting into good counts, and he is a really good contact hitter. The balls that are a little bit more on the plate, he's probably hitting the other way, letting it travel a little bit deeper. He's a pesky hitter. He's not a guy that's going to strike out a lot. You watch where he sets up in the box. He is on the back of the box. Now the pitch is like, if you look on the outside corner and maybe right down the middle of the plate, he's probably going the other way. But catching the ball out in front, you're catching that breaking ball out in front, just like that pitch right there.
This is fly to deep left center field. Mauricio Dubon goes from short to left. He makes the catch on the warning track. Tagging and going to third is Hernandez. And there's 2 away. That ball was stumped.
Edwards has a quick bat, so most of it he's going to catch out in front of the plate anyway, because he's so quick with those wrists. Even that breaking ball there, he was out in front and he took it the other way.
So first and third with 2 out now, and Augustine Ramirez will be the batter for the Marlins.
Fast hands.
Yes.
Edwards has fast hands.
So does Augustine,
Yes, he does.
who turned and burned on an Aaron Bummer curveball in the 5th, a 3-run homer, his first home run of the year. Now, why not hit another? Really just get off the schneid and just keep cranking them now. Jeez, that Baldwin behind the plate is some good, isn't he? Man, here's the homer by Augustine.
Well, you hang it, and he bangs it. Now he can breathe. The first one's out of the way.
Yes. That'll unlock him as he waits on a 1-0. He is seeing it good. Now it's 2 balls and no strikes. Hernandez at third, Marcy at first, bouncing over there. There's a strike.
I'm surprised Marcy hadn't been on the move yet.
Well, I guess if you get thrown out with 2 outs, Ramirez at the plate feeling good, maybe the thought process there. Now with 2 strikes, maybe you do go. But I hear what you're saying. I guess your thought is you can't let Ramirez at the plate dictate what you do on the bases, right? Kind of. There goes Marcy, and he will take second easily. That's another stolen base. And by my count, that's the 3rd of the ball game.
Well, that whole pitch sequence there you see the Braves. They're not even making a move to try to cover second.
Slow bouncer towards third. This is trouble. No throw to first. Augustine has an infield RBI single. It's 8-4, and he's got 4 RBIs tonight.
Well, you hit one over 400 feet, then you hit one about 30 feet.
They all
They all count. He gets fooled on a breaking ball, but there you see Riley and how deep he was at third base. You might as well stick this in your back pocket. Good barehanded play, but no chance to get Ramirez as deep as you were playing.
And the Marlins once again doubling up the Braves. They had a 3-0 lead. Braves got 3 back. Marlins got 3 back. It was 6-3. It was 6-4. The Marlins have 2 more runs across here in the 6th. Now it's 8-4 Miami. They've got 8 runs on 10 hits as Liam Hicks takes a called strike, but he will challenge. Think this is a good one?
I don't think so, and I think they'll be out of challenges.
Oh, it's a ball. It's overturned. That is a successful challenge.
Successful challenge.
Very good.
They have 1 left.
Absolutely. Marlins have been really good challenging.
They
We
have.
showed you that graphic earlier. They have really used it to their advantage. That last pitch was close.
I was going to say, you see 2 in a row?
He thought about it, didn't he? Here's a 2-1. Boy, that clips Munoz. It rolls out to second. Albies can't make a play. Another run will score. It's 9-4. Caromed right off of Munoz, and then Albies made an effort on a do-or-die backhand play at second.
This was going right up the middle for a base hit. If Albies comes up with this, it's a play at second, but he couldn't come up with it. It'll go down as a base hit. There, he just didn't get down far enough to make that play. He would have had a play at second to end the inning. That'll go down as another hit, an RBI.
The Braves, or check that, the Marlins doing to the Braves what the Braves did to the Guardians last night. Now, the Braves have been a little bit more competitive, but on Sunday Night Baseball last night, they steamrolled Cleveland. Beat them up 13-1, but the Marlins have a 9-4 lead in the 6th, and they're not done yet. There's ball 1 on Otto Lopez. Entering tonight, the Braves bullpen a 1.95 ERA currently. Are 3/4 of a point higher, maybe a little bit more than that. Ground ball to short. Mateo with a flip to second. Marlins get 3 more. They've got 3 runs in 3 consecutive innings. It's 9-4, in part thanks to Connor Norby, who blasted his 2nd homer of the year. Hoffman, Greg, and Garcia, injury law firm scoreboard that reads the Marlins 9 and the Braves 4. Calvin Fauché will come on to pitch. He'll replace Andrew Nardi, who in hindsight did a terrific job replacing Yuri Perez when he came on with 1st and 2nd. Nobody out in the 5th inning to make sure that didn't get out of hand and the Braves got any closer. Yeah, he did an outstanding job. But you expect coming in those situations to try to just limit the damage, just give up 1 run, and he did. It was unearned on Yuri's side, but a heck of a job. And if things stay the same way, he'll wind up getting a vulture win out of it. Yeah, he will. This is a nice opportunity for Fauché. You need him to be or get back into that solid short guy or that setup guy in the 7th and 8th innings. Got off to a tough start. Right. Saw the high ERA. He's gone 3-0 on Albies to start the 6th. This is a good spot to try to dial it back in. His fastball's been electric right now. Just looks like he's aiming the ball. Be aggressive in the strike zone. He's trying, and he's missing. A 4-pitch walk. Well, the bullpen has got to hang on. Augustin Ramirez has his 3rd career 4 RBI game tonight. Marlins have scored the most runs at Truist Park since August 4th of 2024. There's been a whole lot of good here tonight. The Marlins have also scored 3 runs in 3 consecutive innings. So just hang on, get out of here with a win tonight. Set yourself up to win a series over the next couple of days. That's the goal, win series. Well, I'm sure the Marlins were hoping Yuri was going to get a little bit deeper into the ball game. Now you're going to have to get 15 outs from the bullpen, and I'm sure you're going to see Pete Fairbanks tonight. He hasn't thrown in what, about a week. That'll be a treat. Bouncer to first. Oh, just foul. If that was 2 inches to the left, Norby probably has a double play. Yeah, Norby looked like a wide receiver making a catch down the line, keeping both feet in bounds, but that ball was not. +4 for Yuri, 4 runs, 3 earned. Check swing. Did he offer? No. Says Jeremy Rehack. The Braves are the last team standing in Major League Baseball that has not lost a series this season. Nice start to the Walt Weiss tenure here in Atlanta. Strike 3 call. Beautiful sweeper. He's back in the strike zone after that 4-pitch leadoff walk. Yeah, I'm a little surprised. I think the Braves have 2 challenges left that you didn't try to challenge at. It looked like it was at the bottom of the zone. But a good sweeper. Locked up Smith. He might have been successful if he did indeed challenge. He did not. Here's Michael Harris the second. A strike. 0-1 on Harris, who, like many other Atlanta Braves, is under contract. This one an 8-year $77 million deal through 2030 with a pair of team options after that. Hometown kid from DeKalb County, grew up a Braves fan. He and Spencer Strider finished 2nd in Rookie of the Year voting in 2022. This is a cool note. It was the first time teammates finished 1 and 2 in Rookie of the Year voting in Atlanta since Craig Kimbrell and Freddie Freeman in 2011. It's bounced foul into that Marlins 3rd base dugout. See, Kimbrell just got called back up with the Mets. How about that? Yeah. Still hanging around. How many teams do you think he's pitched for? I couldn't believe it when I heard the number. I would say 7.
Good sweeper there. 2 in a row with those strikeouts with Smith on the sweeper and now Harris. They get on top of it. Has that late movement.
Here is Mauricio Dubon. Okay, Craig Kimbrell spent 6 seasons in Atlanta, saved all those games, had 186 of his 440 career saves in his 17-year career here in Atlanta. After he left Atlanta in 2014, he's gone on to pitch for 9 other teams. He's
9
for 10 teams in his career.
Wow.
I would have been in the boat with you, maybe 6 or 7, because I know he's floated.
I went high. I would have thought maybe 4.
10 teams.
10.
The Mets are. He's pitched for a third of the league. Remember, the Braves did him a little bit dirty last year. They brought him back up. They flew him all the way to San Francisco to work 1 scoreless inning, and they DFA'd him.
Right.
And to me, it's not like an unwritten rule. You don't do, and they weren't really playing well then. It felt a little unnecessary. Yeah, it was interesting to say the least. There's a 4-pitch walk to Dubon. So Fauché has issued a pair of 4-pitch walks, and he's also struck out 2 here in the 6th. He's doing a little bit of everything.
I know Kimbrell's trying to get to that 500 mark with the saves, but I doubt that he gets it. Right now, he's probably not a 9th inning guy, more of a 6th, 7th, 8th inning guy.
Well, back to business here. Marlins have a 5-run lead. This is a dangerous batter at the plate, though, and Ronald Acuna Jr., who has 26 career home runs against the Marlins. He's playing in his 95th career game against the Fish tonight. And he's well over a 300 hitter lifetime. That backed up and missed inside. Ooh, that's a late challenge by Liam Hicks.
Yeah, I'm a little surprised. Usually you have to do it right away.
Might not be a good challenge either. That appeared to the naked eye to be inside. We'll see. Yeah. And now the Marlins are without challenges through the rest of the game.
Now hitters count. You usually don't want to try to go in here, but you do want to try to tie up Acuna if you can get a strike here. Maybe something on the outside corner. He starts with that open stance, but then he comes back to the plate.
It's the 3rd batter in the inning. He's gone 3-0-2.
And watch out, Acuna may have the green light.
Be very careful. Not even close. Ball 4 and the bases are loaded. So Albies will literally walk to 3rd. Dubon to 2nd. Acuna is at 1st.
Looks like Clayton McCullough's going out. You have King out in the bullpen, and he makes the move.
Drake Baldwin with 5 homers this season, all of them to the pull side. He is not going to face Calvin Fauché. They dim the lights, and John King is coming on to face Baldwin, the lefty. The ground 7th appearance of the season for John King, who leads the Marlins bullpen with a 6-game scoreless appearance streak coming into this one. He is a ground ball specialist. He is a nightmare on lefties. And this is a dream matchup right here for Clayton McCullough.
Yeah, lefties in his career hitting 247 off of King, 298 from the right side. Good fastball, 3/4 action. Good changeup, good breaking ball.
Curveball misses outside on Baldwin.
It might have caught the outside corner, and you don't have a challenge left.
Augustin Ramirez has been better at challenging than Hicks has. And the Marlins are without challenges. It's a 1-0. That misses inside, ball 2, and that one might have caught the corner.
Yeah, good changeup.
Oh, boy.
And that did catch the corner.
Oh, baby. But they have nobody but to blame but themselves.
Well, you got to take chances, and this is what happens at the end of the game. You get 2 challenges, and you just got to roll the dice.
Here's a 2-0. That's right there for a strike. That's 3 consecutive pitches appear to be inside of the strike zone. Albies at third, Dubon's at second, Acuña's at first. Bases loaded, 9-4, bottom 6, a long way to go. It's far from over. As Baldwin waits on a 2-1 and swings right over top of a sinker. It's 2-2.
Well, good two-seam fastball, and he's not overpowering either. About 90 to 92 on the fastball.
Biggest appearance as a Marlin to date for King, who comes home with a 2-2. Chopper outside of first and foul, picked up by Norby. You just trust him so much to just get a ball on the ground here. You just have to hope it's hit at one of your 4 infielders, defenders out there.
Well, he does have good sink to that two-seamer. I wonder if he tries to go in with that two-seam fastball, because he keeps the ball about knee-high.
Boy, he could use a strikeout. 2-2 coming. Bouncer to second. Gotta hurry. Throws in time. Braves leave him loaded. 9-4 as we go to the 7th.
Sarah Benzino.
Connor Norby is due up second here in the top of the 7th. He's making his 13th career start at first base. This was a pretty good job by him to end that last inning.
Well, instincts tells you I'm going after the ball, because he's a third baseman and middle infielder. He realizes where his second baseman Edwards is, and he wants to try to eliminate the pitcher covering first, and he hustles back and gets to the bag. Good play, good heads-up play. It's a tough position for someone to learn that's not had a whole lot of experience. And that play right there, realizing that your second baseman can get the ball that you need to get back to the bag, it takes a little bit. You know, picking the ball from throws, but also that ball that's in the hole.
Yep.
Your first instinct said, I'm gonna go get it, and you're hoping that the pitcher covers.
And he came up as a second baseman in the Baltimore system, where you're taught to go after everything. Marlins acquire him. They put him at third. This offseason and this spring, he makes the transition to first. So you tip your cap to Connor, who's having a really good night. He's also got the homer. He's on deck. Owen Casey, he's 0 for 3 with a ground out, a fly out, and a strikeout. As he waits on a 1-2 from Munoz, who's going to be asked to soak up some innings here for Walt Weiss.
Well, Casey's the only one that hasn't joined the party yet. Everyone else in this Marlin lineup has gotten a hit.
He is 3 for 20 over his last 8 games and 1 for 16 on the road this season. That's a ground ball up the middle and a base hit. That'll snap that road funk. Base hit for Owen. Nicely done. Leadoff man aboard. Make sure you join us for the T-Mobile Mexican Heritage Celebration presented by Tequila Herradura on Saturday, May 2nd at 4:10 when the Marlins take on the Phillies. The special ticket package includes an exclusive jersey. Get your tickets at marlins.com/Mexico. You ever spend any time in Mexico?
A little bit, yes. Yeah. Cabo, Cancun, Puerto Vallarta.
Okay, so more than a little bit.
Yes.
You've toured the country. You've done a full-blown tour. Leadoff single for Owen Casey. Here's Norby, 2 for 3, homer single, couple of runs batted in.
You ever get out from under your rock and visit other places?
I do venture down into Miami-Dade County once in a while. Yeah, once in a while. Yeah.
You ever get into Mexico?
No, sir. No,
you know where it is?
I wouldn't be allowed in, given my history. Yeah.
Can you find it on a map?
Oh, certainly.
Okay.
Yeah, I sure can. Good to be with you. Welcome inside the broadcast booth. Good night going here for the Fish. Really encouraging to see, just to get out of this funk in Detroit, to wipe it clean. I think most importantly, just don't let it linger. Just come here and kick their butt. That's what they're doing.
I'm going to go back to the weather. You know, you look on the weather app and say, hey, it's going to be 80.
Go to first in time.
And I can feel my hands. Hey, I'm all for it. You know, you're in spring training and it's 80s every day. And, you know, you're nice and comfortable both on the mound and also at the plate in the field. You're not freezing your butt off. Look where the two places that they started out on the road. New York, freezing.
Yeah.
And then you go to Detroit. The first 2 days were freezing, and yesterday it warmed up.
I hear you.
But then you come here, and then you're back to baseball weather.
I hear you. It's Graham Pauley. There's a strike call. Runner at second. 2 outs here in the 7th. Headed towards stretch time. And there's Mama. Biting her lip. She'd be better off at home watching on Marlins, not TV. Don't you think?
Nah.
No.
I mean, she's eating through her nails now. Chewing through her lip.
Oh, God. The poor woman. I feel for her. Can't be easy. Swing and a miss.
There's a good cut right there. Breaking ball down and in.
See, there you go. She should be home watching on Marlins TV. 1-2 is on the way. Good eye.
What are you doing? Eating one of those sausage sticks that you get on the plane?
No, my pen actually just ran out of ink, so I'm doing a mid-inning pit change here. Making a pit stop. We'll be back to business in no time. That's my first pen that ran out of ink. Well, no, they're good for about 20 games. I import mine from China, actually, my ink.
You do?
I'm serious. They got the best ink in the game, Nelly. They got the best ink in the game. No,
I never knew that.
The domestic stuff. No, here.
American made. They don't have good ink in America.
Show the camera that. You tell me what's in English there. Show the
There's
camera.
absolutely nothing in English here. It's like hieroglyphics.
Yeah,
hieroglyphics.
I don't go domestic. I import.
Have you ever tried American ink? Do they even have American ink? I mean, I'm sure they do. How about?
Here's a 3-2. And strike 3 is called. The inning is over. It's stretch time here at Truist Park. We'll go to the stretch. Marlins leading 9-4. Lake Bacher is coming on to pitch here in the bottom of the 7th. He'll face 3, 4, 5 Olson, Riley, and Farmer. No, it'll be Mateo because Mateo came on for Farmer. He hit for his Jonesy in the 5th.
Well, Bacher got a lot of swing and miss in his arsenal as well. 10 strikeouts in those 7 innings. Only given up 4 hits. Got a nice job out of that bullpen. He can give you length as well and give you multiple innings.
First one runs up and away. Here's an interesting note on this game for you, Nelly. The Marlins from the 4th through the 6th inning scored 3 or more runs in 3 consecutive innings. The Marlins had not done that since September 1st of 2010. It had been 16 years. They did so against the Washington Nationals 16 years ago, but this offense firing on all cylinders.
They are. Everyone in this lineup has gotten a hit.
Yep. Casey was the last, and he brought up the rear and said, "I got you, boys." And you see Clayton McCullough. He does not look very stressed right now, which is really exciting.
Oh, you want your pitching staff and your bullpen to get some outs and not walk guys.
Yes, that's
make it a little bit easier watching this game from the dugout.
Weak swing and a miss by Matt Olson. It's 2-2 on Olson, who's 1 for 3 tonight. Olson has an extra base hit in 5 straight games. He leads the major leagues with 12 extra base hits this season. He's 1 for 3 tonight with a run scored and a single in the 4th. No extra base hits to date for Mr. Olson, who hits that weekly out to second. Little flip to first in time. 1 up and 1 down for Lake Bacher. It's amazing the more you watch baseball over the years, when you have a big lead like this, a 5-run lead, every time when you're pitching with a lead and you just get that first out of the inning, it feels like they just don't have a chance. Whenever you get the leadoff guy on, you're like, gosh, you know, don't let it score. But you just get the first out, and it just feels like the Braves don't have a shot.
You know, every time, like you mentioned, you get the leadoff runner on, you give them a chance to breathe again. You want to put the nail in the coffin as quick as possible. I mean, this Braves offense is a dangerous offense. You don't want to put anybody on. They hit a solo shot. They hit a solo shot, but be aggressive in the zone.
Austin Riley 1 for 3 tonight. Single and a couple of runs batted in and a run scored. Misses on that slider. It's 1-2.
I would imagine Bacher would eat up this inning and the next and then get it to Fairbanks.
Yeah, we saw him on Friday in Detroit. If he's efficient, which he has been, it might be good for 2. Paulie gobbles that one up, throws out Riley at first. 2 up and 2 down for Lake here in the 7th. He's been Mr. Reliable, hasn't he, Blake Bacher?
Well, he can do everything. He can pitch late in the ball game, give you an inning, get you an out, but more importantly, he can come in and when a starter reaches her pitch count, give you 2-3 innings. Tonight, I'm sure he's going to give you 2.
Here is Jorge Mateo.
Good fastball, curveball. You'll see him go to that split finger outside his glove. He's got a good split.
Foul by Mateo. He's in his 7th major league season. He actually signed with the Braves to provide some infield depth after newly signed shortstop Ha-Sung Kim suffered an off-season injury back home in Korea. Didn't he slip on ice or something?
I think so. You know, I was talking to some of the Braves and they said the one thing that they've added and that they haven't had in the past is their bench. They really have a good bench this year. Mateo can play everywhere. He also pinch runs. They have Jonah Heim right now that McCann, they're back up.
And Bacher punches out Mateo. That's a perfect scoreless. Miami Marlins baseball on Marlins.tv is powered by Major League Baseball. As we take a look at our game summary as we head to the top of the 8th inning. Marlins with a 5-run lead over Atlanta. Yuri went 4. Augustin Ramirez having a career night with 4 RBIs. Also hit his first home run of the season in the 5th. Connor Norby has chipped in as well with his 2nd home run of the campaign. Jose Suarez, a veteran lefty out of Venezuela who began his career with the Angels in 2019 before joining the Braves, takes over here in the 8th.
He's had a rough start. One of the few Brave bullpen guys to get off to a bad start. Almost a 10 ERA. 6 1/3, 11 hits against Suarez. Fastball 93 to 95 as a changeup slider.
Chopper to second, 1 away. One down for Suarez, who developed into a versatile pitcher. He was initially a starter in his career. He actually threw a complete game on September 4th of 2021. Which is notable because at one time they thought this guy had a really promising career ahead of him. Well, that is bounced off of Olsen. It ends up in shallow right field, and Edwards will be content with a single. It's his 3rd hit, but that's just another night at the ballpark for Xavier Edwards, who came in hitting .350. Oh no, that's just his 2nd hit. I apologize. 3rd time on base, but he's 2 for 4.
Well, he gets that ball up and in. It was a fastball, 4-seamer. First pitch goes the other way, just off the glove of Olsen. Once it gets past Olsen, even if Albies would have picked that up, still going to be a base hit.
And here's Augustine. Having a really nice night. Probably his best offensive night this season. Last homestand he had that stretch against the Reds where he had 3 extra base hits in 3 consecutive games. Went very quiet, but who didn't in Detroit? He was 1 for 12 over the weekend. But he has really snapped out of that in a big way with 2 hits, a homer, 4 RBIs, 2 runs scored. Fastball misses high from Suarez. It's 1-1. By the way, my point stands on Edwards. A couple of hits tonight. Came into the game batting .350. Now he's batting .359. 3rd career 4 RBI game. 2nd of his career against Atlanta for Augustine. Suarez kicks and fires. Edwards takes off, and that is banged into center field for a base hit. Harris gets on it. Edwards might try to score. No, he'll stop at 3rd. He thought about it, though. He was halfway to third. He took a little peek over his right shoulder, and he put it into 6th gear for a moment. You can see that wry smile on his face.
Well, Edwards had a huge jump, and there you see that's a split finger and really good swing. And Edwards just took off. You watch him, huge jump off of first. He sees that ball go into left center, and Harris had to get on his horse and hurry that ball into the infield.
If it was not a 5-run game, I bet Edwards might try to score if it was closer. Bouncer towards first. That's into right field. That's a base hit for Liam Hicks. Augustine will stop at second. It's 10-4 now. Another RBI for Liam Hicks. That's his 3rd of the night, and a team leading 16 runs batted in now this season for Liam.
Well, another Marlins swinging on the first pitch. Edwards got a first pitch that he hit for a base hit. Hicks gets another fastball, a 2-seamer, and he just pulls right through that hole. Another RBI for Hicks.
Jeez, he's really rolling. Well, Edwards with a multi-hit game, his 8th of the season. Ramirez with 3 hits. Hicks with 3 hits. So on and so on. Norby's got a couple of hits as well as Lopez hits that foul. 0-1. This copyrighted telecast is presented by authority of the Marlins, and it might not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. And the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Miami Marlins. Now that is a video of a very late night in Atlanta, because the traffic here is terrible. You think Miami traffic's bad? I mean, Atlanta's worse, I think.
It wasn't too bad coming over here. Usually it takes a little bit longer.
Fairly late on a Sunday.
No, it was Monday. Well, today's Monday.
Well, I know, but we were coming over
park.
on a Sun. Oh, okay. Well, we weren't on 75. I was talking about the main road we took through Atlanta last night on the way from the airport. Now, today getting to the ballpark, not bad. 25 minutes. And Baldwin's been busy back there behind the plate tonight. Jeepers. He stopped everything. Marlins starter has a hit tonight, first time this season. Marlins did that twice last year, where every player in the lineup had a hit. June 26th at San Francisco, and May 26th at home against Tampa Bay. And tip of the cap to Marlins communications phenom Gali Sharoni for that note, helping us out. We would expect nothing less.
Phenom.
Oh, yeah. Oh, she'll hear it, I promise. She'll thank me.
It's going to be even warmer tomorrow. 88, close to 90.
Well, I got the fan in here ready to go. I've got it plugged in, ready to go.
It's not even humid yet here.
No, it feels really, really nice. It's been warm during the day, but once the shade gets over the ballpark, it feels really nice. Otto Lopez not ready to go home yet. He is really battling Suarez here. That was the 7th pitch and 3rd consecutive foul ball. So Otto has a hit tonight. If he gets another here, that would be multiple hits in 5 of his last 9 games. I mean, he's still tearing up the road. He's been great on the road. Did he get one? Soft liner to left. No, Dubon makes the catch. And there's 2 out. Pretty good AB though, and Owen Casey will get another shot against the lefty. These are the at bats where Owen Casey, if he wants to become an everyday guy for the Marlins, even in a 10-4 game, you got to show you can get a hit off the lefty. These at bats matter for these guys.
Exactly. I mean, he would love to hit one in the gap, and it's nice to see that some of the lefties are hitting off of lefties today. See, Paulie got a hit off of a lefty. Hicks off of a lefty. Off a bummer, both of Paulie and Hicks off a bummer.
Good eye.
And if you notice, the Braves, all they've been doing is pitching Casey away. Everything that he is seeing is on the outer half, breaking balls, fastballs. They don't show him anything in.
That's a strike, 2-1. On a 2-1, Casey shoots that foul off the netting behind the plate.
That's a pitch right there. That ball was right down the middle and it just pulled off just a little bit. Suarez wanted that away, caught a lot of the plate.
2-2. Struck him out. Good changeup, inning over. Greg and Garcia, Injury Law Firm scoreboard. Miami 10, Atlanta 4. Game 1 of a 3-game series. Marlins dabbling within the National League East for the first time this season, and things are going quite splendid here tonight. Nobody really uses that word anymore, splendid.
Splenda.
That's actually
Sugar.
worse than the real sugar. Ozzie Albies 0 for 2 this evening. Sweep versus strike.
You could say that was a splendid pitch.
Good. Ooh, good splitter from Blake Bacher. I think we are trending in the direction that you had pointed out in the bottom of the 7th, where if Bacher can get you 2, Fairbanks can pitch the 9th. Up. That's poked foul. You know, Braves picked up Ozzie Albies' option this season, and you might be thinking, well, a lot of teams pick up player options. 1-2 coming. And that's grounded outside of first and foul. But you might recall 7 years ago, now 8, that Ozzie Albies signed a 7-year, $35 million extension that featured a $5 million average annual value. The deal included a $7 million club option for this year and next. But you might recall how controversial at the time that deal was. His own teammates, like the Players Association, really wasn't happy as he strikes out. But you remember that, Nelly? The Players Association was like, hey, like, we know this is generational wealth, but like, you're devaluing other players at that position. It was a very interesting deal 7 years ago.
Well, I mean, if you look at it, he is a really good player. You cut him off short. He left a lot of money on the table.
Yeah.
But at the time, he felt like, you know what? I want security. I want security for my family.
Who could blame him?
You want to be around the big leagues. You never know what could happen. Injury here or there.
I kind of understood everybody's point, but you could also understand at the time, like, man, like, you could have gotten more. So it was very interesting. But he was almost at the end of that deal. I would imagine the Braves will pick it up for next year as well, 27. As Dom Smith swings and misses at a sweeper, it's 1-1.
Well, the Players Association is all about, when you have good players, they set the tone for what your value is going to be, and other players like you. And if you're going to take a team-friendly deal, and it was a big team-friendly deal, it can cause some repercussions around baseball. Saying, well, hey, Albies got this. You're not as good as him, so we're going to pay you this amount.
Yeah, the association at the time felt like he was setting the market in the wrong direction. Obviously, owners probably happy about that. He took his $35 million. He went to the bank and he bought all of his aquariums as Smith strikes out. Back-to-back strikeouts for Blake Bacher. He's a fish enthusiast. He's got a koi pond. He's got 1,000+ gallon tanks.
Does he?
Yeah, if you follow him on Instagram, it's really cool. Speaking of aquariums, we say hello to Kelly
Hey guys, well, I wonder if his obsession with aquariums maybe started at the Georgia Aquarium. It is one of the best in the country, and well, Otto and I and his beautiful family are going to go check it out tomorrow. We'll have sneak peeks on the broadcast, and it's going to be a longer form feature for all those to watch at home.
Oh, awesome. That is great. We look forward to seeing some of that footage potentially tomorrow, if that's allowed. Now, when you are there, Kelly, make sure, as Harris pokes this into center, that's going to get down for a base hit. The coolest fish at the Georgia Aquarium, it's actually a massive whale shark. That's in the 6.3 million gallon Ocean Voyager exhibit, so make sure you go.
Kyle,
They
come on,
have a
Kyle.
whale shark?
Kyle, a whale shark is not a fish. Or wouldn't that be? Is whale shark a fish?
Well, I just Googled what's the coolest fish at the Georgia Aquarium, and the artificial intelligence maker told me the coolest fish at the aquarium is a massive whale shark. I mean, is a shark a mammal? I guess, but that's semantics. Just make sure you check out the whale shark.
Whale shark it is. It's on the list.
All right, thank you. You like that, Nelly?
But to see a whale shark in an actual aquarium, whale sharks are huge. Have you ever been to an aquarium?
I have. I went to SeaWorld a lot.
Not the
when I was
ones
younger.
in PetSmart.
No. Went to SeaWorld a lot when I was young.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
See Shamu?
Yeah, it's sad what happened there, though. I don't want to get into it. Ball in to strike the count on Mauricio Dubon. That movie killed me.
That was Free Willy, wasn't it?
No. I'll talk about it afterwards. There was a movie that came out. It was very sad. You just brought the whole night down. Now you got me thinking of it. I can't get my mind off it. Oh, it's so terrible. 2-1 the count on Dubon, who's 0 for 2 tonight.
Hey, go to the aquarium with the Lopezes and Kelly tomorrow. Get your spirits back up. Go see the whale shark.
Maybe put one of those pennies in the machine it spits out, you know, like smushes the penny and it
Oh, yeah.
makes something cool. Bacher ready with a 3-1. And Dubon takes ball 4. So 2 aboard with 2 out. And here comes Acuna. Acuna pretty quiet tonight. 1 for 3 with a run scored. He's now hitting 6 in a row. He's heating up. He's got an extra base hit in 4 straight games, similar to Matt Olson, who's got an extra base hit in 5 in a row. But Acuna's 8 for his last 20 with 5 extra base hits. That after he had just 1 extra base hit in his first 12 games. And he pops this up. Let's see if it twists back in towards playable territory. No, that's about 6 rows deep. Nice crowd here at Truist Park on a Monday night. Announced paid attendance of 22,912. A little lighter now with the Fish taking care of business against Atlanta. Braves in danger of falling to 10-7. Marlins, who have not yet been below 500 this season, on the verge of going to 9-8 and just 1 game back of the Braves in the National League East.
You know, I'm just thinking, the whale shark, where you put it's the largest fish on Earth. Where's this thing fitting in an aquarium?
Now, I told you this is a nearly a half million gallon tank. 2-1 popped up. You seem more intrigued by this. Maybe I suggest you go tomorrow. You tag along.
Well, we're going to see pictures, so why do I need to go?
It's true. Maybe Ozzie would like to go. I'm sure he's been many of times.
Maybe he has a whale shark.
He could. Probably could afford it with that $35 million deal. And a fastball just missed. It's probably getting a little bit too dicey for Lake Bacher's liking here in the 8th, even though the Marlins are up by 6. Yes, he got him with a curveball. Side retired. We'll go to the 9th. Fish up big. Well, make sure you come out to Lone Depot Park on Saturday, April 18th for the Legends Pin Series featuring Mr. Marlin, Jeff Conine. Ball game will commence at 4:10 in the afternoon. Go to marlins.com/offers. Learn all about it. It's a really cool pin. So make sure you come join us. Have a little fun. Hang out at Lone Depot Park. You can make a whole afternoon out of it. Connor Norby is 2 for 4 with a homer. I'd say Suarez is out there wearing it, but he's really only throwing. That was his 23rd pitch. So he's actually doing some really nice work here for Walt Weiss, to be quite honest. He's going to get the 8th and the 9th. As Norby waits on a 1-1, and he flies it to left. This one is shallow. Dubon is racing in and into a slide. It's a really nice grab.
See that stat that just popped up? 6 first pitch hits for the Marlins tonight.
It's good stuff.
Yeah, it is. So, you know, total. There you go. First time since 4/20, April 20th of last year in Philadelphia. I mean, that's what you like to see. You know, be a little aggressive after the offense was a little down in Detroit. Weather, big part of it. They come out here, jump all over the Braves.
Here's Heriberto Hernandez. There's a strike. It's a generous strike, I think. Strike zone getting just a touch bigger here in the 9th. Hernandez 1 for 4. He singled back in the 6th and scored a run. He's also stolen a base here tonight.
You think the umpires, once the team's out of challenges, they say, okay, I can call what I want?
I think so. You know, being that we have a moment, I'd love to get your thoughts, and I'll give you mine very quickly.
The whale shark?
Yeah. I think the ABS challenge system has been terrific, and I think it has flat out made these umpires even better, Nelly.
Well, I think you have to be. I mean, it's your reputation. You don't want a lot of overturned calls. You don't want calls to be challenged at all. I mean, you would love to be around the strike zone and be right.
Hernandez bangs that into right field for his 2nd hit of the game. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's accountability for everybody. I think the umpires in this league do an amazing job, number 1, to start. But there's a little bit of added pressure because you don't want to be embarrassed by a call. And I think just inherently, whether it's subconsciously or consciously, like the ABS challenge system has been so good for the game and for the umpires that do an amazing job to begin with.
Well, it's quick, so I mean, it doesn't really take a whole lot of time out of the game. Right. It's not like when you're on the bases and you challenge a call on the bases, because I know they do their best to try to make a call at first or a safer out call and then one of the bases, but you have that out. You always have the challenge. Well, I mean, if I get it wrong, okay, it's going to be overturned. But behind the plate, as a ball and strike umpire, you got to bear down even harder, especially when teams still carry those challenges throughout the game. Now, when you have a team that's out of them, maybe you can relax a little bit and, you know, maybe give a little bit of the other side and say, if I make a mistake, I make a mistake.
Yeah.
But yeah, I can see them bear down even harder. I don't know how much they like it. I haven't heard an umpire come out one way or the other say, oh yeah, I absolutely love it, or no, I can't stand it. I would imagine that they probably don't like it.
Ball and 2 strikes to count on Graham Pauley. Two and 2 on Pauley. Got a hit, scored a run back in the 5th. He waits on this one. Check swing, and he did not go. Count is full. Heriberto Hernandez, by the way, that hit, that's his first multi-hit game of the season. So congratulations to Heriberto. Trying to unlock him a little bit. 3-2, and Pauley breaks his back, grounds it softly to second. That goes 4-6-3. A double play. That's the end. We'll go to the bottom of the 9th. 10-4 Marlins. Features Max Meyer and Reynaldo Lopez. That'll be a good matchup. Both will be making their 4th starts this season. Pair of righties with tidy earned run averages. Lopez has been great. And Max Meyer with 15 strikeouts. Lopez with 13. Anthony Bender on to clean up. The bottom of the 9th. Marlins leading 10-4. They have 10 runs on 16 hits. And I just looked this up very quickly. Bender making his 8th appearance of the season. Should they give this win to Andrew Nardi, and I think they will, it'll be his first major league win since August 18th of 2024, Nelly. That'll be really well deserved.
Yep, good vulture win. Hey, relievers will take it. In some ways, I'm a little surprised that Pete Fairbanks didn't get the 9th. He hasn't pitched in a week.
They're just waiting for the right time.
Well, some closers, the mentality is I only want to come in with safe situations. That if it's not a safe situation, I'd rather throw a bullpen.
Yeah,
and I've been around closers that have been that are that way.
Yeah.
You know, I'll go 10 days without throwing.
Sure.
I do not want to come in a blowout. It's not the same adrenaline. You go through the motions. You wind up giving up a few runs.
Right. Then if you can't get out of it, then you got to get a Bender up, and you got to get him in the game. And yeah, so you talk yourself into this is perfect. Strike 3 call. No challenge from Baldwin. That was one of the more filthy sweepers we've seen from Bender this season. Had a lot of bite on it.
Good backdoor sweeper there, and it catches that outside corner. The Braves still have 2 challenges, but down 6 runs. Maybe they said forget it.
Drake Baldwin and the Braves ready to wave the white flag. That's enough. As Matt Olson takes a strike. So Meyer versus Lopez tomorrow. Marlins on the verge of improving to 9-8. This will send the Braves back to 10-7. And with a win here tonight, and with a win at some point in the next 2 games, whether that be tomorrow or Wednesday, the Marlins will do something that no other team has been able to do this season, and that will be win a series against the Atlanta Braves. And to do that here would be exercising some demons. I promise you that. That's launched up the middle for a base hit.
You know, this is also a situation for, you know, Fauché and Bender mean so much to the back end of this Marlins bullpen. You need to get them right. Both of them struggling at times. Up 6 runs. This is a good, I would say, soft landing. Come in and throw some strikes. Throw up a 0. You know, even though you gave up a base hit there, you still can roll a double play.
And here's Austin Riley. And there's ball 1. Riley 1 for 4. Ground ball to short. 6-4. 4-3. That's gonna do it. A game 1 victory belongs to the Marlins. A 16-hit outburst. Anthony Bender wraps it up for the Fish, who got a big old offensive explosion.
The change of weather, Kyle, I still say that's a huge factor, and it changed the offense here. They're back on track. He had some really good nights from Ramirez, Hicks. Ramirez with his first home run. Another multi-hit game for Edwards. So offensively, an outstanding job. Everyone in the starting 9 got a base hit tonight. Nice job scoring these runs and open up with a win in Atlanta.
Marlins snap a 3-game losing streak. Braves in danger of losing this series. Marlins have a couple of chances next couple of nights to win this thing. Good start to the week for the Fish. Next telecast tomorrow. Post-game show is next. Kelly will be live with Augustine Ramirez on the other side of this break. For Matt Gersten and John Sulzer and Jeff Nelson and Kelly Sacco, I'm Kyle Seeloff. Good night from Truist Park. We'll see you back here at 7 o'clock tomorrow night.
Welcome back to Atlanta. It's Marlins postgame on Marlins.tv. It's the first of 3 against the division rival Braves. The Marlins bats come alive. They snap a 3-game losing streak with a 10-4 victory in game 1. 4 of those runs courtesy to the man sitting to my right. It's Agustin Ramirez. I am Kelly Sacco. A big night for you tonight, Gus? Let's start with the home run. How good did it feel to get the first one of the season out of the way?
No, it's really good. I feel good in the play. You know, it's working in that process to the season, and I feel really good. It's continued to that.
It's a 3-hit night for you. Did you make any adjustments coming into tonight's game?
No, only that game is, you know, in the season. It's every game talk, and I continue with the hard working and, you know, with Pedro and the hitting coach. And, you know, it's continue with the compete in the field. And this is I won and the good result.
The good results showed up here tonight, not only for you, but for your entire team. 16 hits as a team. That's a new season high. 7 of those hits came on first pitches. How much of an emphasis was it coming into this game to be aggressive?
No, I'm talking about for that always, you know, for that team, it's really good team. And the mentality is compete when you go into the field every day, no matter what. And it's continue a lot of games in the season, so continue with the working hard and compete in the field.
And you have another one again tomorrow. What do you want your team to take away from this game and bring into tomorrow's game?
The same.
The same, right? How about 16 more hits and 10 more runs? Sounds good to you?
Yeah, exactly.
Thank you so much for the time, Gus. A big offensive night for the Marlins, and we're to send the pitching end to Kyle Seeloff and Jeff Nelson. Let's go to the pitching, okay? Let's go with Eury Perez. What did you see from him tonight, Nelly?
Yeah, we'll get to that in a second, Kelly. I want to say this really quick as a sidebar. The courage that Augustine just had to sit down with you and do that in English is really impressive. He didn't have to do that, so thank you to Augustine, and that was really, really cool. And let's get to Eury. It felt, again, Nelly, like another one of those nights where there's so much goods you can take. He didn't qualify for a win, and it's just too much he's got to work on at the same time, right?
Well, it's a tale of two pitchers. You look, he comes out in the first 3 innings. Even in the 3rd inning, he got in a little trouble. But the 1st inning, 2nd inning, 3 up, 3 down, comes out in that 3rd inning. Does a nice job of pitching around some base running mistakes. Dom Smith got thrown out at 3rd to make that 3rd out. He had a really good fastball, came out and established it in the 1st inning. That's exactly what you wanted it to do. You wanted to eliminate the big counts, eliminate the amount of pitches per inning. I think he had about 34 pitches through the first 3 innings, and that's exactly what you want. And then the Marlins, they score 3 runs, and then it's a different pitcher. He comes out. He's got a 3-0 lead, not aggressive in the strike zone. That's what you wanted to see him continue through the first 4 innings, is go out and be aggressive. You have a chance with a 3-0 lead. He gives 3 runs back, and then the Marlins score 3 more. So it's a 6-3 ball game. Right. So you hope, hey, come out and throw your fastball, establish your fastball. He just could not command it, started spinning the ball, and he wound up only giving you 4 innings, and you had to get him out of there because he really struggled and became just a different pitcher.
Yeah.
And we've seen that this year. He's got great stuff to be able to, and not to be able to continue what he did in the first couple innings.
And he turns 23 years old on Wednesday. There's a lot of development that still needs to take place, but I think a lot of people are also ready for him to start to turn that corner. When he left, there were runners at 1st and 2nd base. It was up to the bullpen to cover the final 5 innings tonight. Somebody can let me know. I'm sure they gave Andrew Nardi the win. If they didn't, they should. If he did pick up the win, it's his first since 2024. And this was pivotal right here because he had to limit the damage, and he did.
Yeah, he came in with 1st and 2nd, nobody out, and you figure, hey, just let me, if I have to give up a run, it'll be 1. And that's exactly what he did. He gave up an inherited run, but he struck out 1, a clean inning. Fauché, you want to get him right. He's a big part of this bullpen, especially late from the right side. He walks 3, and then King has to come in and clean up his mess. He has been brilliant since he's been a Marlin. He comes in of a 3rd of an inning. Blake Bacher can do everything. He can give you an inning. He can give you multiple innings. Outstanding job. 4 strikeouts and 2 clean innings. You absolutely love that. And another guy you really had to get back on track is Anthony Bender. 2 right-handers in Fauché and Bender that you need to be right at the back end of that bullpen. Well, he gave up the hit, and then he gives up the double play to Riley to end the game. So outstanding job by the bullpen, really coming in with inherited runners with King and Nardi. Excellent job.
So how about this? The Marlins ERA in the bullpen goes lower tonight. You see the numbers there covering those final 5 innings. I would imagine now, if we go back and look, that the Marlins bullpen ERA might be lower than the Braves now that the Marlins, did the damage they get against Atlanta here tonight. But again, I guess kind of your closing thoughts here, Nelly, after a really solid Game 1
well,
win.
Marlins bullpen was 4th in baseball with a 2.81, so that'll probably go down. I'll look to see where they rank. You just starting pitching. Max Meyer the same way. Be aggressive in the strike zone. You come out hot and you roll through the first 3 innings, and then all of a sudden you change as a pitcher. That's exactly what Uri has been this year. He's rolled through the first couple innings. You see, there it is. This is the guy. We had that stat about his, what was it, something stuff, great whatever, stuff plus.
Oh, yeah.
He has that, but he's got to go out and prove it throughout the game instead of just 3 innings and all of a sudden change pitching styles.
All right, Kelly, I can assure you that you, our audience, and everybody else that joined us tonight on Marlins.tv does not want to hear from Jeff Nelson and myself anymore. So we'll go back down to you.
I doubt that. Thanks so much, guys. I'll see you both tomorrow in Game 2. They cover the pitching end of it. How about we cover the offense? There was a ton of it. A new season high 16 hits. 10 runs scored, 9 of those coming in the middle innings. Let's start in the 4th. No scored. Jacob Marcy up to bat again. He sneaks one up the middle. That one's got to feel good for Marcy. His first of the night. That brings up Xavier Edward, who draws a walk. It's going to be back-to-back walks. First from Xavier Edwards, then from Agustin Ramirez, who's seeing the ball so well. That brings up Liam Hicks. He leads the team in RBIs, and he does it again there. The sac fly scores Jacob Marcy for the first run of the game. We've talked about him so much. Otto Lopez hitting the ball hard, does so again there. 108 miles off the bat. That'll score Xavier Edwards. Marlins now up 2-0 until Connor Norby. What a nice piece of hitting. Lets the ball travel, takes it the other way. 3-0 Marlins. The Braves come back, they tie it. Graham Pauley, the hometown kid, he's leading it off. Shoots one up the middle. Following up is Xavier Edwards. Another single for X. It's a multi-hit game at the end of the day for Xavier Edwards. We now have 2 on with 1 out for Agustin Ramirez. He's been waiting for this all season. Gets another curveball after seeing a first pitch curveball. Sits on that pitch. He told me moments ago he knew it was gone right off the bat. Gives the Marlins a 6-3 lead. Fast forward to the 6th. Connor Norby has himself a day. Agustin Ramirez homers. Next up, Connor Norby, his 2nd of the season. That's his 2nd hit of the night, and RBI for Connor Norby. Let's party up, fight, and fish, and that's exactly what they did here at Truist Park. A really nice night up and down the lineup for the Marlins, who continued the hot hitting. Here brings Ramirez again. He hits one 400 feet, then he hits 130. They count either way. That is his 4th RBI of the night. Liam Hicks already has 1 hit. This makes it 2 and another RBI for him. That scores Jacob Marcy. 16 hits total for the Marlins for the first time this season. A hit for each starter up and down the lineup. That coming after Holmes retired everyone 1 through 9 in the first 3 innings. They make an adjustment and then continue to add on. Keep it right here on Marlins.tv. When we return, we head down to the clubhouse to hear from their manager, Clayton McCullough. Field at Truist Park. Final score, Marlins 10, Braves 4. Those 10 runs, the most runs scored for the Marlins here at Truist Park since 2024. It was a total team effort up and down the lineup. 16 hits, those 16 hits, a season high for this Fish team. But leading the way, Agustin Ramirez and Connor Norby with 3 hits apiece. Let's start with Gus, who collected his first home run on the season. There it is. He saw a first pitch curveball, took that for a strike, got a curveball again. This time did not miss it. 105 mile per hour off the bat, 418 feet. Connor Norby collects his 2nd of the season. Does a really nice job going the other way there for Connor Norby. That's his 2nd of the season. We take a look at our StatCast 3D. Between those two, home runs, 798 feet, nearly 800 feet of home runs. Time now to head down to the Marlins clubhouse to hear from their manager, Clayton McCullum.
Yeah, really, I think everybody in the lineup picked up a hit. 1 through 9, really terrific effort. I think how we just we moved the ball around the field. I mean, there were a lot of hits the other way. I think we just kind of early on took what we were given and stayed through the middle. Certainly Gus's homer was a big blow at that juncture of the game, and Norby's to get a tack on. But I loved how we really once we got going, we just put together really tough at bats. I think we did a nice job of laying off enough of some of Holmes' pitches down that got us into some good counts, and then we were able to, again, not try to do too much, just kind of take your hits and pass it to the next guy.
Was this something that you kind of sensed early on, like bubbling, like you guys were eventually going to burst?
I mean, I think we've talked. We've done a really nice job as a whole offensive this year. We've had some really strong performances from individuals and from our group, and we just coming off of one tough series. And for me, that's all it was. Is that this group has shown the capabilities that we have, and I think tonight to see us. In a really a back and forth kind of tight affair there in the middle kind of innings there for us to continue to swing it and tack on runs is a great sign.
What caught up with Uri, you think, tonight?
I don't know. I think they have a good offense. They have a very good offense, and I think that the one inning where they just he got behind some and they were able to string some hits together. He was able to get out of it with the game tied like he was able to, which was big at that point. And then unfortunately the first couple guys get on in the fifth. So I really came out of the gates all the first couple innings. He looked fantastic. He did, and I think he lost a little feel there in kind of the latter part of his outing.
Holmes starts 9 up, 9 down. What do you think you saw second time around from your guys?
I think our guys just hung in there, and again, they got themselves in some better counts, and we just moved the ball around. So I think we made some nice adjustments there with laying off some pitches that got us in some better spots, and then really had good at bats.
How about the 4 or 5 spots in the lineup tonight accounting for Gus and Liam accounting for most of the?
Yeah, two really good hitters, and I think we've all been kind of waiting for Gus to break out and get his first home run. He picked a really fantastic time for that to happen tonight. And I mean, really, Liam since opening day has been a really steady contributor. He's come through in a lot of moments, and did it again this evening.
Clayton,
overall, just a really solid win for the Marlins, who've had a lot of trouble winning here at Truist Park. They snap a 3-game losing streak after being swept in Detroit and win in a big way here in Atlanta. They put themselves in position to win the series tomorrow against a team who has yet to drop a series so far this season. Don't go anywhere, right here on Marlins.tv as we continue on Marlins post game. We get you set for the road ahead. Welcome back to Marlins post game. We take a look now at our Toyota road ahead after a big 10-4 victory in game 1. Here's what we have on deck for tomorrow. Meyer opposite Lopez. 2 pitchers who've had really nice start to their season for Lopez. He's been one of the best over there with the Braves. Meyer, he's looked really good for the Marlins too. The Marlins with a chance to win this series and hand their division rivals their first series loss of 2026. As we take a look now at our Toyota road ahead. After Wednesday night's game, we head back home to Miami for a matchup against the NL Central. First, it's the Brewers following the Cardinals. So come on down to Lone Depot Park. We'd love to see you. Well, that'll do it for us here on Marlins post game. The final score one more time. Marlins 10, Braves 4. Kyle Seeloff, Jeff Nelson, and I will be back with you tomorrow for game 2. Thank you for making us part